All right, how you guys doing? Chasing Truth. Sean G is on the air. My glasses are kind of crooked. What the hell are my glasses crooked? You gotta be kidding me. Really? Shit. Wow. My ears got lowered on one side for whatever reason. All right, folks. Now that being said, hopefully that was the end of it. But how you guys doing? How you guys doing? Going along the airways. Okay, here we go. And like I said, Chasing Truth Sean G is on the air. A couple minutes early, like I usually do. I'm not broadcasting over on the Dark Waters platform over on the Paranormal Radio app because I think he's running a show off of that right now over on his channel. So I was like, why not just go live over here for a few minutes? Let's see. Let me get this thing up here so I can see what's going on. TC, what's going on? Marquita, Razor Wolf, Andy, Warhol's Wig, Z Wickler. Let's see who else we got in here. We got Robert Moore, Wendy Wilson. Thanks for that email earlier, Wendy. Appreciate you. God bless you. Steve Ghostman, what's up? And let's see, Bass is in the house. Lord. Well, my usual Wednesday night. Michelle Smith. Barry W. Shams. What's going on? Got 19 people. Got one major announcement tonight, or I guess not. Well, yeah, it is a major announcement, but that I will hold off and see what's going on. How's everybody? We've got unscreened callers tonight, 931-994-6917, if you can see it in green and red there. Definitely going to reach out to you guys tonight for that. And Razor Wolf, my brother from down under. Steve Ghostman has hit me up on over on Facebook. I'm not a big Facebook fan, but he hit me up over there, and we were talking off and on for the past couple of days about shadow people. So we may be talking about shadow people a little bit tonight. You never know. But wow, how's it sound? Everything sounding okay? Pretty good. Let me go over here and make sure I got yeah, I need to turn that off. Yep. All right, now we got perfectly good setup. We may go to Dogman Cams here in a little bit to check this out. I hate having sideways baseball caps, but apparently I do have a sideways. Oh well. There you go. Sounds good. Well, thank you, TC. Thank you. Incredible. God's blessed me to be around here one more day. So here I am. Happy Christmas and a belated happy Hanukkah to all those folks out there that do celebrate the Hanukkah season. Happy belated Hanukkah. God bless you all, one and all. And I have not opened up the line, so the folks, hold on just a second. I will take on open lines here in just a little bit. So give me just a second. So, obviously, let me make sure how many people's in here first. 22? Okay, 26. Well, Dark Waters put out earlier, the last 24 hours, that there was an announcement. And I have not spoke publicly anywhere on any platform, any place that you can find about this. Miss Terry and I have split. Now, this is my one and only and final statement about it. Okay? I have nothing bad to say about her. Our relationship is done and through, and it was mutual. Mutually, we split. I have nothing else to say about her. I wish her the best. I pray for her and her family that they have a incredible life, a prosperous life, and a blessed one. wish everyone a Merry Christmas in her family and her too. But outside of that, I am not looking for anybody to replace her. This is not, hey, I'm hanging a shingle out that I'm free and I want somebody else in my life. That's not it. I absolutely do not want anybody else in my life right now. So, and that's it. That is my one and only statement. If you ask me in some sort of other venue, I will probably just ignore it. So, that's it. That's my final one and only statement about Miss T and myself splitting. So, I wish her the best. Pray for her and her family, and that's my final statement about it. So now, open lines are open. I've seen a couple of people already tried to call. 931-994-6917 is the thing to call about. If you want to call, great. All right, let me make sure I got all this. Santa's Dim Lady, Mark Dodman, what's up? And let's see, who else? Andy Wigg says, respect your privacy. Well, I appreciate it. Outside of that last statement, that is my final and only statement. You will not see me say one word about it outside of this. So here we go. Got our first interesting caller. Hold on just a second. Interesting caller on the screen call. You are on the line. Where are you from and what's your name?
This is Steve Ghostman.
Oh, just a second. For whatever reason, I can't hear. Oh, wait a minute. I turned you. Give me just a second. There we go. I can hear you now. Now, what's your name and where you from?
Steve Ghostman.
Hey, Steve. You and I have had an occasional conversation for the last few days. What's going on with you?
Oh, doing all right. Hanging in there.
Cool. So, our initial conversation started off with shadow people. So what do you think they are?
Well, I think there's several different possibilities of them. It's possible that the spirit or the realities of, say, the Zion Curtain is. Some say that the Zion Curtain is lifting and realities are merging, but also it's said that our reality is based on frequencies, and that we have that there are multiple parallel realities streaming basically alongside of each other, and possibly when those streams get too close to each other, it's possible that that we are seeing into their reality as possible apparitions, but at the same time they're seeing us as possible apparitions.
So like a bleed over from one universe to the other dimension?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can follow you.
I mean, this is just some views on it. Some believe that they are malevolent. Some believe that they are benign. My experience with it is I think I was more scared of it, not knowing what it was. It didn't actually seem to bring me any harm. When I was a child, when I was about 7 years old or so, we lived in a place in Clearfield, California. And my basement was downstairs, and I had seen shadow apparitions down there. That it's not that after growing up and thinking about it, I don't know if they were there to really mean me harm or were just trying to check me out, like I was an apparition to them.
So there are stories about this thing called a hat man. And other than the general description of the same as a shadow person, there's a hat involved with some eyes. So are they Are they different or are they the same?
No, well, different things can appear in different forms. I think due to the fact we really don't know enough about it, they could be related. To my research with so many different views on it, it's really hard to tell, if they're actually related. But I really feel that it's a person's body frequencies that may be close to in tune to theirs that allows them to see them.
Hmm. My interactions or encounters with these shadow figures, I ran into several while I was a respiratory therapist in the hospital, and usually, I would say about 99% of it was I would see one, and then I would find a body or get a report that somebody died in that room.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, you may be, your frequency may be more in tune to that.
Well, I've seen the damn things around my house too. That's, after that I start rebuking in the name of Jesus Christ, and that pretty well gets rid of it, but hells.
Okay, but many times too, I have found that with spirit entities that, like a child, if they may just be trying to get your attention. Mm-hmm. The lashing out part may be just like a child. If they don't get your attention, their efforts will accelerate. And to the point where
there was one encounter I had after I had my near-death experience. I lost my left leg 6+ years ago now. And I'm in the bedroom where I saw the damn thing, where I'm doing this show right now. And I woke up one morning, or early one morning, real early, and I got up on my elbows and looked over to the left corner. I saw this 4-foot something black shadow standing there. And at that time, after my near-death experience, I wasn't really, scared of anything paranormal. I have healthy respect for it, but I looked at it and I said, I'm going to figure out it. I told this thing, I will figure out if I can stick a broomstick up your ass. And the thing left. Too sweet, no sound. The room was closed and locked. How it got in, how it got out, it wasn't physical. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, since you seem to have a consistent encounters with them, it may be of the same entity, and maybe they are trying to get your attention. It could be that it could be a loved one trying to come through, watching over you, or something like that. It's just that to you, they appear as shadow entities. Okay. I'm not saying that is the answer, but it's one possibility. And the best way to confront that would be to actually see if they would like to communicate. But I would do that with an experienced person.
Well, I'm not.
You may be able to resolve.
I'm not fond of trying to reach out and communicate with these things, other than to say I am not happy with you invading my privacy.
Okay. Well, I can certainly understand that. My experiences, though, there are times that we have helped entities. I even have a story written about it on my group site. Okay. About it's a ghost named Walt, and he was some may call him a poltergeist because he was a noisy spirit. But the reason why he was getting noisy is because he wanted our attention. And once he got our attention, and my uncle had a seance to try to find out what he wanted, and what he wanted was for my uncle to try to get a hold of his wife in New York, gave a rural phone number, which no longer exists, but my uncle researched it, and it did belong to his wife back in the late 40s, or back in the 40s. But he was no longer able to, trace it beyond that. And after that, after communicating what his findings to Walt calmed down, and to the point where he just never come around anymore. And okay. I think that's because his questions were answered, and his message that he wanted conveyed was, tell her I miss her and I love her.
So this was a past relative or loved one that had wanted just to convey a message.
No, my uncle was an antique collector, and he had bought an old antique trunk from an auction, but it's from World War II. But it had an older antique lock on it that my uncle wanted, but it didn't have a key to it, so he was just going to save it till he could get a key made. But I had an incident. I tell of my stories again in my group site of how I was able to communicate with him using simple tools as fish tanks. I had noticed that when he was close to a fish tank, the lights would flicker on the fish tank. And this was also backed up by my uncle's dog. My uncle's dog would sit there and watch it. And as it would go by the fish tank, as he would watch it go by the fish tank, the lights would flicker. So my uncle had 2 fish tanks down in his den, and I used them for yes and no answers. And through a series of questions, I come to find out that he wanted us to open the trunk. So we opened the trunk and found a journal in there that helped to validate some of the questions that I had asked him. And that he apparently he was a cook in World War II, and his encampment had got ambushed, and he was shot in the upper leg. And although they got the bullet removed, he got gangrene real bad and ended up dying from it.
That's what I had with my left leg. I had gangrene from necrotizing fasciitis, that flesh-eating bug. So yeah, that will. I was close to death, no doubt about it. But yeah. So this particular entity this particular entity was attached to a chest with
the trunk.
The trunk with a
journal. It had his diary and stuff, and it had his military uniform as well as a cook's outfit and his journal.
Okay.
His journal told of the ambush. Well, it told a lot of his military experiences and stuff, but towards the end, it told of how he was injured and he was in the hospital, and towards the end of it, the writing got real shaky, and then it quit. So we presume he died.
Okay. So, have you had any other encounters with these shadow people or shadow entities or critters or whatever you want to call it?
No, the shadow entities that I had the most experience with was when I was a child, but that along with the experience at my uncle's prompted me into my journey to become a paranormal investigator. I've been doing that for over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Paranormal investigator, researcher.
So do you reach out to communicate with these things to see what's going on while they are at a particular spot?
Yeah. We try to communicate. Is there anything we can relay, anything like that? Is there some way we can help get a message crossed or help you to come to terms, Okay. But a lot of times we've found that I don't think they understood that they were dead, that they were deceased. A lot of them seemed, some of them seemed confused.
Have you found a common strand or commonality between these entities that don't know they're dead? Or were they just suddenly taken out of the presumption of life? Suddenly, like from an explosion, like that World War II veteran, or lost their life all of a sudden, or have you found any common thread between the entities that don't think they're alive or don't think they're dead?
Well, I haven't really come across a common stream as of yet, other than they're in a state of confusion. I mean, that's what I get across is. A lot of them are in a state of confusion. It's like waking up in a dream, and reality is all different.
Right. Okay. All right. Have you come across good or bad or just indifferent entities?
There was only one time that I've come across what I would consider a more aggressive entity, And I think that was brought on because I was trying to provoke it, and that was at the Stanley Hotel. I had something try to overtake me, and boy, it made me sicker than I have ever felt in my life. Felt like pins and needles were being shoved into every pore of my body.
Oh, wow.
And we were on a tour, and I was trying to provoke some activity, which, I really know better than to provoke, but this is my one and only chance. I want to get some activity, but I was sorry for doing so. And since then, I have changed my whole perspective about investigations. I don't provoke. My previous approach on it anyway was to be respectful, but I will in no way again. I will in no way again be provocative, be provoking, because you just don't know what you're dealing with, and you don't know what you can take home with you because they can't attach to you voluntarily. We have scientifically proven that, me and my group, by voluntarily asking if the entities would like to come home with us to finish the communication session at my house. And I've got videos of that too, that as soon as we got home, we asked if you were here, and the meters lit up.
Oh, wow. So do you invite these things to come to your home, or do they just traipse along and tag along for the ride?
Well, under this situation, we actually invited them to see if they could voluntarily attach like that, and they did. They could. There was out here in Vernal, there's a memorial. It's called Remember the Maine, and there were two jumpers that jumped off of there. They were involved with the same girl who was said to be a Wiccan, and the first one was her boyfriend, and for some strange reason, he went to the top of Remember the Maine, took off all of his clothes and folded them and put them neatly in a pile and jumped off. Jumped off the cliff, and that's like a couple of 100-foot cliff.
What possessed this person to do that?
That still remains, that's a question that still remains. But and then there was the second guy who was the best friend of the first guy, but also had a thing for the gal. Just a short time later, ended up at the top of Remember the Maine, and did exactly the same thing. Took all of his clothes off, folded them neatly in a pile, and jumped off. That guy's name was Friedrich. We managed to contact him at the Dry Fork Cemetery, and he wanted to come home with us. We know him by name because he led us right to his grave.
Well, how did he lead you to the grave?
With our meters, my son would walk with his meter on one side of the road, and I would walk with mine, and he would light it up at which way we needed to turn at what point. Until we came right up to his grave, and we asked him, "Is this your resting spot?" And all our meters lit up.
That's interesting.
Yes, Yeah, and we ended up asking him if he'd like to come home with us, and which he wanted to, but we made conditions that he wasn't try anything, harmful or anything like that, harm any of our pets or mess with my wife. And as it turned out, after a couple of weeks, he started messing with my wife, so we had to expel him.
Well, that would be my first question. How do you ensure that, hey, I'll invite you in, but don't piss on my rug? How do you ensure that doesn't happen?
Well, that's basically a trust issue. You got to stipulate the boundaries and then uphold them. You got to stipulate the boundaries beforehand. If you're inviting them in, stipulate the boundaries and uphold them.
Okay, well, I think that's a circular argument to me. You invite them in, but they violate the original agreement that I'm not exactly sure how you know that they agree to it, other than they show up and say, "Hey, I'm here." Is that your saying, yeah, they agree to it?
We say if you are going to come with us, then you have to agree to this. Okay, if they come with us and we assume they agreed to it, if not, we will expel them. We do have the means to do so. I know several methods.
Okay, how do you? Can you name one?
Well, for one, bells and chimes. Bells and chimes have been used since ancient times. That's one of the reasons why churches have bells, is because the tone helps to bring in good energy and drive out bad energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's believed that bell or dark entities don't like the tone of a bell, and this is why it's been used through the ages on churches. It's why the Pope has bells, and they have like a little thing of chimes that they sit there and ring as he's walking.
Okay.
During ceremonies and stuff. It's to drive away dark energy.
That's
and frankincense and myrrh.
How about white sage? Burning white sage, does that work?
Well, yeah. Well, I think a lot of it too depends on the strength of your energy, because if you're weak in mind and energy, then this may not work. Any of it may not work.
Mm-hmm.
These like crystals are made to help amplify your own energy. In many ways, like sage and stuff like that. If you're not strong in energy and trying to cleanse a place, then you may not be successful. You got to be strong in your faith and strong in your energy.
Okay, the last contact you had with anything paranormal, when was that?
Let's see. Well, I drove cab here in Vernal for several years, and we did quite a few investigations during that time. I can't really think of one. I can't really think of the last one.
Mm-hmm.
What I can tell you is maybe some of the ones that stick out most in my head. There was one time when I was driving cab. We have a saloon down here called Gateway. I had a customer and we were talking. He was wanting to join our group. We pull into the Gateway and my phone, which was in the console or cubby hole, lit up and started typing. It lit up and I grabbed it and it kind of got through all my security and got into a text screen and was texting in capital letters, HLP, 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 just as fast as it could type. And so me and the guy looked at each other and I said, that sounds like an abbreviation for help. And he said, yeah, me too. And I said, well, if that's someone in need of help, help who? What is your name? And it just added ALL. So it was typing HLP, ALL, HLP, ALL. So I took that as they wanted me to come into that bar and try helping them out. But I tried to make arrangements with that manager at that time, and the best I could do was go in there during operating hours, and you just can't do a good investigation like that. So
alrighty.
You got to have the place shut down and stuff,
Got a quick question from one of the chatters. Razor Wolf wants to know, have you experienced any encounter that was most frightening? If so, can you elaborate?
The most frightening one I would have to say for me was that experience at the Stanley Hotel, because I thought I was mentally prepared for it at that time, but boy, was I wrong. That thing overtook me and I didn't know what was going on. I had to get out of there. I ended up having to abandon the tour, and there was an old antique elevator that was just down the hall. Let me explain a little better. When that experience came upon me, we were on a tour and we were on the 4th floor, and I was fake knocking on the most haunted room up there for my wife to get a picture. And it was, as I walked away from there, something hit me. I started sweating profusely. I felt really nauseous and almost like I had vertigo. And I told my wife, man, I got to walk away from here. So I walked down the hallway, and the further I got away, the better I felt. And so I thought, okay, I walked it off. So I go back there and got within 5 feet of where I was, and it hit me even harder. I mean, to the point I almost fell out. And my wife told me I looked really pale and everything. So I told her, well, I got to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. So we had passed an old antique elevator on the way, and we got to that elevator, and as soon as them elevator doors closed, it was like a breath of fresh air. All I can figure is there was something that didn't want me to go any further, or something that didn't want me to see something. I don't know, but it didn't. It directed it at me.
Have you had any interactions with what you would call or refer to as angels?
Well, I see that kind of goes with my religious beliefs, and I do believe that we have spirit guides, but I don't know if that would actually be considered angels, because I feel our spirit guides are a part of us.
Okay.
So that kind of goes with religious beliefs. I'm not saying there's no such thing as angels. It's just that my definition may be different from others.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds fair enough. I don't have any problems with that. So what's your next planned expedition to investigate to this paranormal stuff?
Okay, well, as of now, I am retired, but I do still do a lot of research. I used to fund the investigations and stuff out of my own pocket, but I used to work out in the oil field and made a lot of money. So all the equipment and doing the investigations in most cases came out of my pocket. And after I retired, I just can't afford the upkeep on the equipment and replacing them, so I eventually retired.
Okay. Well,
it really is expensive, when you really want good quality equipment.
True enough. It's doing this show. It's not cheap. It's not free.
Yeah, I can imagine. I gotta admire you. Yeah.
But it's a passion of mine. I think God gave me this show to do this show, and that's what I'm doing. Well, Mr. Ghostman, I appreciate you calling in, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you having me on the show. It's an interesting show.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we'll probably be talking more about this and later on in the show or during the show. Who knows? But shadow people. Actually one of my stories. I almost got on Art Bell when he was on Sirius Radio for let's see, Ghost to Ghost, I think, or not Ghost to Ghost. I forgot. Spooky Matter.
Coast to Coast.
No, Spooky Matter is what the Sirius Radio version of his show was. It was called Spooky Matter, and I wrote a small two paragraph thing about an encounter with a black solid entity that was across from me in a hospital room. I was doing a blood gas on somebody, and I looked up, and this thing I got up about midriff on it, and the thing fell through the floor like it was, either tugged and ripped or a trap door opened up underneath it. And I could not find anybody that saw it. I knew a lady that was pointing in a general direction, seated in a general direction, that she was eye shot of me, but she never saw a damn thing.
Well, see, and that goes in line with what I was saying about your frequency may be more in tune than others with it, and that right there kind of falls into that. The others around you may not have been tuned in close enough to that frequency to have experienced what you saw.
Oh, this particular encounter, the person that was in the bed passed away, I think, within 48 hours of me seeing this thing. So.
Yeah, well, and I think it's also possible, I mean, not definitive, but I think it's possible that they only let the people see them that they want to see them. You know, it's just like, say, a relative had a message for my wife, but it wasn't for me. I may not see it, but she will.
Mm-hmm.
Because the message isn't for me. They are not here for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I can understand that. Well, Mr. Ghostman, I appreciate you calling in. I got another caller that's been waiting for a few minutes on the other line. But anytime you'd like to call back in, I'd love to talk to you again.
All right, sounds great. We'll do.
Appreciate it. You can go ahead and give out your. Go right ahead and drop a advert for your stuff.
I was going to try to post a link in your comments, if that would be okay.
You'll have to send that to me. Send that. Either put that in. Probably send that link to me in Facebook. I'll pick it up and drop it in. I've disabled that dropping links.
Okay. All right. I actually already did send you a link.
Okay. I appreciate it. I'll go ahead and grab that here in just a few minutes and pop that in there.
All right. Sounds good, and I appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas.
You bet. Take care.
Bye.
You too.
All right. And caller, I appreciate you holding on. What's your name and where are you from?
This is Chicken Whisperer from Alabama.
Well, Merry Christmas, Chicken. What's going on?
Well, I wasn't in no hurry. I just didn't know how to balance it when y'all was going to get off to cut the truck off with it. Wouldn't have no background noise. You know, I was trying to keep my heat going. But,
man.
Now, what your stream does on slow data, it may play a second or two, and then it will buffer for about 5-10 seconds, and it's actually hard to listen to you like that. You know, I mean, your show will stream eventually once it gets a few days older, a week old or something, you know, till I get my fast data back.
Yeah.
But it was streaming good just now, you know, I mean, as far as listening on the phone, you know, I could hear that caller.
Right.
One time I went to the cemetery and invited my wife, my first wife that died back, you know, when me and my first wife broke up, you know, we have broken up a lot, you know, and I hear that Irish and Indian just don't mix too good together, you know, but now we're getting along good now, you know, but it seemed like we had some happenings going on, like it wasn't my first wife, it was somebody else, you know, that actually came home with me, you know, but I don't know, I wouldn't suggest inviting somebody home like that, you know, I mean,
well,
you really don't know.
You know, the thing of it is, with any of these, you know, I'm sure this guy has a touch of woo-woo in his background. I honestly, I think that the other side can parade around to something else, for sure. And that's my opinion. I could be absolutely wrong, but that's my opinion.
I agree with you. You know, I mean, you have to be very careful because you just don't know. I mean, demons can shape shift and look like people, sound like people. I hear one of the tricks is to, you know, look and sound like an innocent little girl. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they gain power if you interact with them and stuff, you know, but
right.
Most people would want to interact with a kid, you know, it just seems so innocent, but, you know, what it's not a kid, you know. But anyway, no, I was wanting to comment. I know that somebody's beeping in, but I'm going to keep talking to you. I'll call him back.
All right.
You know, people have been scrutinizing calling it a hoax and stuff, a video that one of my friends in the Dark Waters family, a sound that he put out and stuff. And I just want to say that people probably know who it is. I just want to say that I sent a picture to him of my booger, and he had a chance to mention that he had it, and he didn't. he held back. You know, he could have said it right there. It could have rolled off his lips, and it did not. Guy's honest. He's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he would host anything. You know, I mean, those people are probably just jealous because they didn't come up with a sound like that or whatever. You know, ask him. You know who I'm talking about. Ask him to send you a picture of my booger. I mean, he's going to share it on his Christmas contemplation. But
okay,
that's one, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that is one of the best and clearest daytime pictures of a booger that I've ever seen. You know, I mean, I believe my wife was undressed at the time, and she felt, you know, the front door was open, but it's facing the backyard, and she felt eyes on her. And I had just bought her a new digital camera, and I think it was in 2007, and she just took a picture out the door. She took a lot of pictures. We got all kinds of stuff. You know, we got ectoplasma out the window. I have to download it off the computer where it's on the SD card from the camera, but and get on my phone to scrutinize it. But we may have a head looking in the window at her too. She used to be a babe, you know. She looks like a redneck woman now after being married to me, kind of snaggletooth and stuff. But don't let your women help you work on vehicles. You know, I mean,
I've known a few. I've known a few people or a few women that knew their way around an engine. No doubt about it.
Well, a wrench could slip and they could bust themselves in the mouth with the ratchet or whatever, and you know, and then their teeth would start spreading apart and falling out and stuff. You know, and I don't know. If I had some money to throw at her, I think she still got potential. You know, but anyway, she still looks good. But anyway, now, them woods down there, I mean, that's a good place for a dogman camp. I mean, they use our yard as a shield to go to that dumpster. It's got a lot of food in it. But, you know, I mean, they're liable to hear us fussing and arguing. You know, we get into it every now and then, you know, and I don't want anybody to hear that, you know, and I don't know where a good place would be down in the woods to put it, but I've actually unraveled a bunch of stuff that they intertwined where I could walk down there pretty easy. And it ain't long. They done intertwined it, bent stuff over, crisscrossed again, you know. But that picture of my booger now, the ground is level down there in the woods, the same as it is right there at the shed in my car. And so that's a big boy. It's red. It's got a pronounced nose. You can see its eyes.
All right.
And you can see its dust pretty good, you know. And I think it's a pretty good picture. I may have more. I just got to scrutinize them, you know, get them down on my phone.
Well, send me a copy. I'd like to see it myself.
Huh?
Send me a copy. I'd like to see it myself.
Well, right now on slow data, it's hard to upload the email.
Okay, all right. Well, whenever you get it, get the data.
Well, let's see. That might be 29th or 30th or something like that. But
that's you know, fine. I'm patient.
Jay has it. You know, a mutual friend. You know. And,
oh yeah.
He might send you a copy if you ask him, but you know, I guess since people don't know where I live. Right where I live. It's okay with Jay. You know, you can put it up on the screen. All you got to do is, you know, I mean, if he's got a good copy of it, just zoom out. It shows the door, it shows the shed, it shows the car. Just zoom out. I mean, zoom in. That's what I mean. and zoom on out to the shed there, and to the right of the roof overhang is where it's at.
I believe I've seen that picture. I honestly, I do believe I've seen that picture. If you're describing one that somebody sent me with a car right in front of the screen door, and the shed was to the left of that.
Yeah, the car was a Ford Fairmont, a blue Ford Fairmont fastback. Two doors. Is that the one?
I believe I've seen that one.
What do you think about it?
Well, I can't remember the details other than you described what I remember in a picture somebody sent me. So I don't I'll have to look at it again. I'll have to dig it out of it's probably buried deep in an email somewhere, but I have to go back and look. Or you can send it to me whenever you get fast data. That would be fine.
Okay. It's a good solid picture. Usually when we take stills like that, if you don't see nothing, you will eventually. You just got to let them sit there and ripen. And so I kind of wonder if spirits can manipulate that stuff. I really don't know, but it's kind of strange. But we got, like I said, a picture out the window of ectoplasma.
Right.
A good picture of it. We got a picture of looks like a head looking in and kind of smiling, but it's got branches around it and stuff. You know, it's kind of strange. Maybe like it's trying to camouflage itself. I don't know. We got a picture of an acquaintance, kind of sort of a friend. I call him Gas Stealer. But anyway, got a picture of him. It looks like him behind one of my cars, and he's actually got pointed ears, like he's midway changing into something, you know. And that certain friend, you know, I mean, he would come out of nowhere. You know, one time in daytime, I heard an alarm go off at a house out there, and all of a sudden he comes running up from that direction, but it's like nobody's seen him. He just appears out of nowhere, you know. So I think we kind of got some, I don't know, we might have some shapeshifters down at Green Pond, you know. I mean, I don't know. Whoops, I said that. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. But anyway, you know, in the 70s, we had Bigfoot activity out here. My dad thought, you know, I told you about, you know, how people was harassing my dad for a job he used to have and stuff, and he thought my neighbor was part of it. And he heard some big footfalls, and he went out through there and shot his shotgun down in the woods, shot his pistol, and it was just a boogity trying to get away from him and stuff. And he would put trip wires with like a tin can on it or something, and something would run through that, and he'd run out of the house real fast and wouldn't catch it. There has been a story about around Tannehill about a wild man, and a certain family had a barn out there, and one of them, it jumped off the barn onto him, I guess, and then took off. It was some sort of wild man they was talking about, and there's people in the tree house that heard footfalls. It seemed like they seen something big walking by. It was at night, and a family was in a house during a thunderstorm, and something got right beside the house near the kitchen and started letting out a growl and a howl that was at the same time. And a fella that was spending the night over there actually told me about it. There's several people, and the adults would even go near the kitchen. They were scared. We've had some Bigfoot activity out here, and like when I go on a two-lane that goes over the bridge out there. To the right, I could feel like I'm not welcome when I went out there trying to find a fishing spot. But to the left, where I've seen that thing down in the swamp, it took off, out the corner of my eye, out of my peripheral vision. I think I told you about that. It was grayish. It looked like one of the swamp things on the Phantom cartoon strips.
All right.
I walked out there, and I felt friendliness. I mean, I felt like I was being watched. I felt like they was friendly. And it's strange, I mean, there was a lot of spider webs out there you could walk into face first. And something was going ahead of me and knocking these spider webs down. You could see where they was knocked down, freshly knocked down, like they was going ahead of me. And I think it's the same boogers that comes on the property. I think they even make their rounds to Adger too, because that might have been, the one I seen Adger that was red, he was as tall as the one in the woods. And the one in the woods that you seen, I was talking about, maybe he's standing on something, I don't know, but the one I seen Adger was a lot shorter. But I just feel like, they're friendly towards me, and I walk deep out in them woods. I ain't have a gun. I ain't have nothing but a tackle box and a rod and reel. That's all I had. And I walked a couple miles out there and came out in that town next to mine. And I ain't had no problems whatsoever. I even found a walking stick out there, it helped me out, and if something came up, like a wild dog or something, I'd bust him in the head, not no dog man though, but just every now and then there'd be stray dogs out there that go wild and stuff, and you have to watch that. There's a lot of woods out there.
All right.
What I like to find though is that hill that's been cut around like it's a pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
It's got army junk on it. It's got planes that, for what I've heard, and Jeeps and stuff, and some of them's got holes in them where they've been shot and stuff. Big old holes you stick your fist in and stuff. And a friend of mine, his dad found them, and he stole the copper out of them and stuff like that. But it's supposed to be out there amongst an old railroad bed, kind of off to the side. But it's grown up so much out there. I mean, it's just hard to find. Me and my wife tried to find it one time, and we got fussed at from a hunting club and stuff. And we went when everybody was supposed to be at work and all, and we wasn't trying to stir up trouble, but they see my car kind of off the road there. I had stuff in it. I didn't want anybody to steal it. I wasn't trying to just hide it just to be hiding it, and a police officer was actually part of the hunting club, and they fussed at us pretty good, threatened, but they didn't do anything. And kind of found my license was expired, and I went straight and had that fixed. Had a cop car watching where I went when I left and everything, but I haven't been out there since then. I don't know, the hunting club's still out there. But like I said, we've had some activity and stuff and all, but I just figured I'd call in for a few minutes, and I just wanted to mention that person, that I think they got good character. I don't know them as good as other people know them, but they didn't break the word to me. And breaking your words kind of sort of like lying, and I wouldn't think they host a doggone thing. I think they're straight up.
All right.
And then people just, ain't nothing wrong with scrutinizing stuff, but, You know what I mean? They don't need to just go all out and just say hoax like that. You know, it's like they've already studied the heck out of the data and they've come to a conclusion, and they haven't. You know what I mean? They just need to put up or shut up, you know, pretty much. You know, in my opinion, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but anyway, that's all. I need to go. I need to crank my truck and get some heat going. I'm sitting here freezing.
Well, I appreciate you enduring the cold there for a little bit. It's 27 degrees outside my house right now. So.
Oh, mercy.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to get down 29 tonight out here.
Oh, man. Well, it's pretty freaking cold outside right now. Last time I put the trash out on the back porch, I opened up the door and I was like, holy cow. It is wintertime out there. Well, hell, it's the middle of December anyway, late December. So.
You know, usually, you know, December's kind of iffy. You know, it comes and goes. January, February, now that's when we got the big time cold weather, you know, and
right.
Towards the end of February, it's kind of iffy, you know, it'll warm up sometimes. Seems like when I had a bunch of chickens, they started laying in late February on up to when it got real hot in the summer, and then they slowed down to the point where they quit when they started molting and stuff, you know. And I was spitting on them eggs because I was selling them and stuff. I don't know what's wrong. My tongue gets lazy sometimes. I can't talk at all. But yeah, I gotta crank my truck up, warm up, then cut it off and let it set. Check the oil because I left the road on fire coming up here tonight. You know, and I want to get on up here in case they close early, and it was already gone before I even got here. But you know, they left the gates unlocked, so I came on in. But had to check my oil, then I could park in a certain place. They got the extension cord set out for me, and I'll pull my heater out of the toolbox and get some good heat going.
Well, Chicken Whisperer. Yeah, true enough. Chicken Whisperer, I appreciate you calling in and giving us the couple of stories there. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. You know, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, you know, it ain't as good as some people's stories and stuff, you know. But
hey, any story, if it's true to you and hard to believe, that's the stories I want. So.
Well, I got those, you know. I mean, I don't lie about stuff, you know. I try to tell the truth, and I do tell the truth, you know. I mean, I'm honest. Some people say I'm too honest, you know, but I try to be straight up and stuff.
Right.
With everybody.
Well, I appreciate you. Yeah. You've been straight with me every time I've talked to you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I strive to be that way and everything, you know.
Right.
I just wish I could finish listening to you on that thing, but on that browser, but I probably have to let the show sit there and wrap it a little bit, like I said, you know.
Oh, yeah. You got to download a little bit of it to get the buffering up a little bit. So, yeah, I understand what you're talking about, brother. But I appreciate you calling in, as usual, Chicken Whisperer.
You're welcome.
Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you later.
That's what I was going to say. Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year. I say that every time, you know. But, you know, best thing about Christmas to me is the music.
Oh, okay. Favorite song?
Yeah.
What's your favorite song?
I like "Oh Holy Night." Let's see. The Babe, the son of the Babe, the son of Mary. That's a good one. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of the Christmas hymns, but some of the commercial Christmas songs are okay too, you know, but I like the hymns, the hymnals and stuff like that. I really like them, you know. I know Jesus may not have actually been born on Christmas. It's just when people celebrate his birthday, and There's people that celebrate it. They choose not to for different reasons, but it's kind of a day appointed for that. I know it goes with another day that came before the Catholic Church Christianized it and stuff and all, but I don't know. As long as you stay excuse me. As long as you stay focused on God, that's all that matters. I mean, keep Christ in Christmas. It's not about gifts or anything like that. It's about the gift that was given by God. I get kind of emotional, talking about that. It's what God gave us, his son.
Mm-hmm.
I think it says, this day to us is born a child, Christ Jesus, the Lord. And, as long as you focus on Christ, I don't think God minds you celebrating Christmas, But, people talking about buying Christmas and stuff like that, and I'm not downing them, but whether you buy anything or not, Christmas happens. It's to have been bought.
All right.
And it's been bought by the blood of the Lord Jesus Christ. He shed for us. He died for us. And that's what it's all about. I know
True
it
enough.
ties into Easter too and stuff, but that's what it's all about.
Mm.
And
Well,
the Bible, basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's what it stands for.
all right.
And of course, Auburn stands for Alabama usually beats us rednecks. I'm a Bama fan.
Yeah, roll tide row, right?
That's right. There you go.
All right. Well, God bless you. Merry Christmas, Chicken Whisperer, and I'll talk to you later, brother.
All right, man. You take it easy, Sean.
All right, you too. All right, Chicken Whisperer, buddy. Now, that's a down-home Christian guy, Southern Christian guy, for sure. No doubt about it. So, all right. The unscreened lines are open, 931-994-6917. If you've got a story you just want to say, hey, howdy, Sean, I'm from XYZ, how you doing? That's good enough for me. Let me flip this thing over here. Actually, like that background a little bit better. Again, 931-994-6917. There was a couple of calls in between me talking to Chicken Whisperer and Steve, Ghost Man. I'll post a link there from Ghost Man in the chat to his Facebook group. Looks like I got another caller here. Give me just a second, caller, and I'll get you live on the air. Okay, caller, you're live on the air. What's your name and where you from?
Shamz, Kansas City, Missouri.
Shane? Yeah, Shane?
Shamz.
Shams. Oh, Shams. Hey, man, what you doing?
All right, I was sitting here trying to revamp my channel and seeing that you was on, and pain started getting to me, so I'm like, just going to lay back and listen and just call in and see if you was ever got a chance to look at that website or if you got any questions on what I do or how I do it.
I have not gotten a chance to look at your website at all, Shams. There has been, unfortunately, life has happened with me, and I haven't been able to look at a whole lot other than try to get the day-by-day stuff gone and done with.
Oh, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I just wanted to ask that. I didn't really want too much. I didn't have any stories or nothing like that.
Okay.
The first
what's your website again? I'll go ahead and put that in the chat real quick.
Was it DARKHAND Arts? I said art. Dark Hand Art.
HAND. DARKHAND.
ART.com.
.com. Okay. I got that in there.
Yeah, I'm also trying to get this channel back up and vamp, but it's just so much stuff. Like you said, it's a lot of stuff to do, and can't do it all because I got to edit. I got to do it all myself. Edit, do my website myself, all that stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that's true. It's interesting. I still got a piecemeal a best of show to be aired Saturday night during Christmas, and I'm still on the edge of whether or not to host a Christmas Eve show with good old Vault of Nightmares. Well, I've still got to think about that. I'll get to him tomorrow about that. But anyway, yeah, I appreciate you calling in, Shams. As always, I appreciate you. Anytime you got another story or just want to call in and say, hey, howdy, I'm here for you, brother. God bless you and Merry Christmas.
I appreciate it. You too.
Bye. All right, that was Shams, and I posted his link in the chat there. And, of course, we've got open lines, 931-994-6917. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Belated Happy Hanukkah. That was over on the 18th, so it was about 4 days ago. 931-994-6917. Let's say howdy ho to the folks in the chat over here. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Stimulate. Hey, brother. Nickel, Santa's Dim Lady. Casual Conversations with GNA, Red Raider. There's Jeff. What's going on, Jeff? From Pine Island Research. And, yeah, interesting. Who else is in? Indrid Cold. Michelle Smith. Got your Christmas lights on my patio. 2 dachshund figurines all lighted up. So you're a dachshund fan, huh? My mama loved some hound dogs. But, yeah, there you go. Darkhand, Sean. Oh, okay. Darkhand. I apologize. Let me go ahead and repost that. www. Apologize there, Shams. www.darkhandart.com. There you go. Sorry about that, brother. I probably just misheard what you said. I can't say that I know English very well. I can't speak it very well, that's for sure, and I sure can't spell it. But, holy cow. Can you believe we've already been at this for a whole hour? But today, really, Shell, what's going on? Hey, Jeremy, what's up, buddy? Jeremy Wilson in the house, Paraforge. Please do a Christmas show. Well, I am going to do maybe a Christmas Eve show over on the Dark Waters channel with Vault of Nightmares. They're going to be doing fireworks over there. Fireworks, believe it or not. And I've got to just lay it out and see what's going on. For whatever reason, this season, Christmas, I choose to celebrate Christmas. It just does not feel like Christmas. But I choose to celebrate it, and that's how I'm choosing to do it. So there you go. But definitely, if you haven't followed any of the other Dark Waters family members, we got Bass in there. Who else is in here? Let's see, the Lakea Show. Let's see, who else? Let me go in here. Vault of Nightmares, Bass Mayhem 0615. Go follow him real quick. Let's see, Impromptu Truth, his twin brother. Wow, can you imagine those two while they were kids? I wonder what kind of wild stuff they got in as kids. I've only known a handful of twins. But there you go. That would be awesome. Well, there, with or without me, Vault in Lakea is going to do a Christmas Eve. I don't know what time. They're going to do a fireworks thing in front of the cameras and over there on either their channel or Dark Waters channel. Bansheba, what's going on? Hadn't seen you in about 3 shows. But Merry Christmas to you. crazy as it is, Merry Christmas to everybody. And thank you for popping in and, spending a little time. I wanted to spend a little time with you. Thanks for spending a little time with me. But if you don't call in, this ain't going to be a heck of a show other than me sitting there chatting away. Chicken just sent me a text message. Hold on just a second. Let's see what he text messaged me. And we'll get this. See what's he got going on. Oh, brother. Well, that's all right. I got your phone. I hung up on you, brother. He said, I'm sorry I couldn't hang up on you. That's all right. I'll take care of it. No big deal. But appreciate you calling in, Chicken Whisperer. You're always a fascinating fellow. That's for sure. But, yeah, buddy. This is Chasing Truth, Sean G. on for the Dark Waters channel. I did not go live on the Paranormal Radio app because DW was doing a live stream off of his radio station over there on YouTube. So I said, nah, I better not. Don't want to, do double streaming. The YouTube does not like that kind of stuff. So that's it. Luis Carlos, what's going on? So everybody done with their shopping, or are you part of the last minute shoppers? Everybody got their shopping done for Christmas, or do you actually shop for Christmas? I honestly have not bought one thing for Christmas. So that's I haven't bought anything in quite a while for Christmas, but anyway, there you go. All set here, Michelle says. No tomato soup over. What's up with the tomato soup? Are you guys going to have Christmas dinner? What are you guys going to have for Christmas dinner? Love, faith, and family. Yeah, I believe that, Red Raider. We got another caller. And give me just a second, caller. We'll get you live on the air. And unscreened caller, you're live on the air. What's your name and where you from?
Hey, brother, you can call me Tony, long-time caller, long-time listener. Just looking at the chat. Sorry to call in for a minute.
Okay, Tony, where you from?
Hey, I'm from Oregon, brother.
All right. So what's on your mind? Merry Christmas, by the way.
No, Merry Christmas to you too, brother. Not much. Just sorry to call in, give you a buzz. There's 73 of us in the chat last time I checked, so I just thought I'd give you a call. And to be honest, on behalf of maybe everybody, feel free to call. But we love your voice and we love hearing you talk. And I know sometimes you want us to call, but some of us are maybe nervous or just scared, or I don't know why some of us don't call. But I thought I'd let you know at least I appreciate your voice, and I play in the background and just let you be, hear you out.
Well, tonight was just a Merry Christmas stream and, kind of chill and chat. We've had some interesting callers so far. Started off right off the bat with talking about shadow creatures, shadow people. So have you ever seen a shadow person?
I personally haven't. I've called in the past where, like I've mentioned before, my daughter and my wife have this thing where they've seen shadow creatures or shadow entities, especially my daughter. My wife, we're kind of more open about it, and we spoke about it. She used to see when we got married at a young age, 14 years old, right? Crazy, huh?
Yeah.
So we got married at 14. So we were pretty open about a lot of things, and she would mention to me at that young age, she would see what you would call what we now know as black-eyed children. And she would not only see children, but she would also see adults. Nobody she knew, but one time we were, in the high school field at lunch, keep in mind we're married, we're hanging out, and she freaks out. And I told her, hey, what's going on? And she describes what you would call, I guess, a coach with his eyes gouged, but they're black, and she said they're not gouged like a horrific scene or something of a nature that you wouldn't want to see. They're just black-eyed individuals, children or adults, right? So this goes on for many years. She, and I personally thought it was maybe because she was into horror movies. So We stopped watching horror movies, stopped doing the Halloween things, maybe something that triggered it, you know?
All right.
So fast forward a couple of years, we have our daughter. We were still kids. My wife was 16, I was 17 at the time. My daughter's born. And, nothing happens out of the ordinary. We decided to move around across the states. I joined the service. We're doing great. Everything's happy. My daughter's about 5 years old, 6 years old. And she starts telling me that she sees people. Now, she says that she can't see their eyes. And sometimes they don't have a face to it. My concern does go up. My concern kind of flares because it's the same thing that happened to my wife. Now, at this time in my life, I've gone through a lot. I gave up on believing in God. Now, everybody to each their own. We live in a beautiful country where we can practice what we want and what we like. And at that time in my life, I said, you know what, I don't believe in the supernatural God and so on and so forth. And my daughter isn't exposed to these things of supernatural and God and religion. So it really boggled my mind when she said, hey, Daddy, I see these beings without a face or without eyes, So I personally haven't seen them. My daughter has. My wife has. Maybe one day they'll muster the courage and call in your show and share their experience and what they believe triggers it, or what if it isn't a trigger? What if it's a gift, or what if they have a third eye? What if what are your thoughts, brother?
With shadow people, I have seen them majority of my life, actually. Usually, I saw them around death, especially in the hospital. I would see one, and either I would find a body within moments, or somebody would pass away in the same room where I saw the thing. So now I've seen them here at the house, where I'm at right now. I've actually seen a shadow figure probably about 5 feet from me. It was years ago, but do I believe in them? Yeah, I can't not say I don't believe that they don't exist because I've seen the damn things. So.
Right. And that's the thing that boggles my mind the most. And I'm a Mexican man, and we're taught to believe, at least it's our belief. I'm not sure if it's an American culture or just a human culture, right? Let's not necessarily talk about race, but growing up, I would hear that animals, specifically dogs, they had the gift of seeing these supernatural beings, I guess. Their sixth sense, as they say, correct? And So I moved out. I got out of the service. I moved into my own home. I was very particular about the home that I was going to receive. So I finally moved into my perfect home, right? I've been living here for a number of years. Check this out, something crazy. We decided to get 2 dogs, right? A lab and a German Shepherd. Great dogs. We're constantly with their training and everything in between. And my daughter, maybe a year into us living in this home, she's telling me that she sees these black-eyed individuals. And I kind of try to brush it off, and I kind of try to explain to her of subconscious mind and how it works and why I don't allow her to watch creepy shows or just horror movies in general. And and she understands. She's a teen now, and she comprehends of why I do the things I do, right? But just a minute ago, I was, we have family time around 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. We have a timer that goes off. Mom spends time, a couple minutes with the son, and vice versa. We each get about 15 minutes with each kid. So while me and my son are sitting in my daughter's room, I kid you not, she has a Christmas tree in the room, and the lights start flickering, right? My son kind of looks at it, and he looks at me, and I'm like, oh, don't worry, let's continue with our conversation. And we're talking, I don't know what the heck we're talking about, what little kids talk about. And out of the blue, what do you call those things that you hang out? The ornaments. The ornaments start moving, right? The ornaments start moving, and these are the ornaments located up top. And I was like, whoa. And he looks at me like asking, I was like, hey, Dad, what's that? And I was like, hey, let's continue with the conversation. And I deep down, like, I don't know if I should have done this or if I shouldn't, but deep down inside of me, I was like, hey, if you're really there, manifest yourself to me. What's going on? What are you? Leave my family alone. But I said that within my own thoughts. I had a dog there. One of my lab was hanging out in that room, and from like I said, back to growing up, very superstition. We believe that dogs see entities. I was hoping that my dog would be barking. I was hoping that my dog would his hairs would stand up, but it didn't. It was calm, like nothing bothered him. But I do tell you that yesterday, we were on one side of the house, me and my wife. The kids were on the other side, and we heard a thump. Oh, that's what my kids say. They heard a thump. And I swear to you, the dogs got very aggressive, and they're trained to where if they hear something, they will bark on alert, and they will run either to the door or to the backsliding door. So the dogs didn't do that. They stayed put where the kids were in the living room. And when I ran to them to see what's going on, and we live in a really safe neighborhood, but still, you never know. Times change. People are crazy. You never know. So I go dashing out, and I see my dogs, both of them, their hairs are up. My daughter's kind of freaked out. She thinks it's a crackhead trying to break into the house or whatever. And I got kind of a little unsettled. We have, motion sensors and lights that turn on when you get a certain distance from the house. And so none of those went off. So I told my daughter, hey, we're fine. Maybe it's some pipes. Maybe it's a ductwork. Maybe it's what they call in plumbing, water handling. But I just thought I'd call and share my experience, and not make you feel so lonely without anybody calling. Like I said, there's 73 of us. And, Red Rider or anybody that's out there listening, just feel free to call with your experiences, even though you feel somewhat nervous. I felt nervous. I feel nervous right now, but I appreciate you, Sean, letting us talk and, express our feelings and everything in between.
Well, Tony, I appreciate you calling in, brother. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, man, thank you.
Talk to you later, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Bye. All right, Tony from Oregon. That was interesting. I see chat is talking about black-eyed kids. I've never seen one, but I've always been fascinated by them. I actually followed this one, Fantastic Fridays, I think was the name of the channel. It turned out that it was all bogus. It was all scripted and stuff, but there was a black-eyed kid activity, and I watched a few of it, and I was like, I wonder what the hell is that about? And then about halfway, 3 or 4 videos in, I was like, this ain't real. This can't be real. And it turned out, it wasn't real. Interesting. Or is it Fantastic Daily, I think was the name. I can't remember. But whoever it was, had a big old Discord channel and all that stuff. But anyway, let's see. Who's in the chat? I saw Dark Waters pop in there. Hey, buddy. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Chaos, what's up? What's going on with you? Merry Christmas. Thanks for that text, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, thanks for that text there. And then we got Life 1042 in the house there. So what is your favorite supernatural that you're interested in? Paranormal. I can't say I like any of it. I've seen ghosts, definitely. Let's see. Wait a minute. Here is one thing. Let me actually got this one right here. And let's see. Let me get the pointer out. This is actually from upstairs. Let me make sure I've got this one here at this house. So if you think that I am sitting here BSing you, what's going on in my house? Here is my house upstairs. And I showed this over on Vault of Nightmares. I think I may have showed this over on DW's channel. Maybe. Pretty sure. Anyway. Pretty sure it did. I can't remember if I showed it over here or whatever. Dogman is red to peel. I think once you get exposed to that kind of stuff, Bigfoot, Dogman, it sees you and you see it, and then Katie barred the door. But I've actually showed this on my channel, did a whole show on this particular picture many, many months ago. And I see something back here next to the red. And something about, I think, right here. But when I showed this to old Vault Nightmares, he was like, "What is that hand?" I was like, "What hand you talking about, brother?" This hand right here. All I can say is this, the IR light, for whatever reason, is not illuminating. Now, where this IR light is definitely pointed right down the stairs, which I kind of cut out some of the stairs there. Cropped it out, actually. But hold on a second. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And then we'll get a little closer to this hand right here. I don't know if you can see that hand so well, but translate that. Jeremy says seen that. But yeah, this stuff actually in the last few weeks, the paranormal has went down. Sure has. But this upstairs has had a whole lot of paranormal. Whole lot of paranormal in it. I have seen ghosts in here, shadow people, disembodied voices. Heard my late brother's voice. Sound like he was outside yelling at me. My sisters heard it. Heard his disembodied voice in here. Heard my uncle's voice in here. I've even heard my late dad's voice too. But that being said, I don't know why in the heck. I had it populated and pointed up. But yeah, there you go. Now, actually, let's since I haven't done this, I didn't do this last show. Let's go over to. Let's see. Let's go to the front. Let's go to Dogman Cams and do a live stream from there for about 15 minutes and see what's going on. Throw this up. Oh, holy cow! Look at me. I'm way to the left. What the heck did I do here? This cam. There we go. Let me pull me over. All right. So this is a live feed from Dogman Cam's The Vault of Nightmares backyard. Look at his backyard and see if there's anything going on in there. Let me open up the audio from that thing. Oh, a minute. I think I've actually got that audio canceled. Yeah, I do. If you want to call in, 931-994-6917. If you want to call in, say something, or if you see anything on the Dogman Cam's free preview, right now's the time to do it. Now, there was a big thing to do a few days ago with, they did an experiment in the backyard of all nightmares, and there was some interesting stuff, and I about lost my shit on a live stream after the fact, seeing the rear view back cam from old vault and saying, what the hell was that? But they debunked that. Both Vault of Nightmares and DW used all that stuff and paired the actual camera with the back camera footage and debunked it, and it turned out to be some weeds. But I was like, I'm glad that they did debunk that thing, because I was saying, what the hell was that? I don't think it's raining. Hold on just a second. Alexa, what is the weather in Taylor, Mississippi?
Tonight's forecast calls for
35 and clear right now in Taylor, Mississippi, thereabouts. That's about the closest point on the map that I can give you. So that, I would dare say, that's probably fairly close to what the temperature is at that camera. Excuse me. Last couple of days I've had a stuffy nose, but there you go. I'd like to see a picture during the day, evening. I'll have to, next time I bring this picture up, I'll try to remember to have the, a day picture of it. Have I moved that camera? I know I've had to reformat the camera and put it back a couple times because of interesting things that have done in the house. For whatever reason, every camera in my house, I had to reset the damn things. I've got 11 cameras in my house, meaning that if you get on my property, I'm pretty sure I've got a picture of you. Chris Haynes, what's going on, brother? Merry Christmas. But we are currently looking at a free preview of the Dogman Cams, dogmancams.com for less than a pack of smokes a month. I think it's $5.99 a month. You can get dogmancams.com and be able to see. They're about ready to install new cameras in the next pretty close future. They've already got the cameras there. They're just getting logistics of actually providing the remote internet to them. So, Ball of Nightmares, and I'm sure DDoS over there on Dogman Cams will give you updates as they come about quicker than I can, but that's all I know right now. Something to the far left of the trees. Okay, well, let's go in here. Hold on just a second. Let me pull that up. Something to the far left. Wait a minute. What is it? What the hell is that? Or is that just pareidolia? Right about... Hold on a second. Let me see. Well, let me get the pointer out. What I saw moving around back there, but it could be, well, no, still photograph versus moving photograph. I don't know. Is there something there? Or are we talking about way over here to the left of the trees? I done lost my pointer, dadgummit. Well, I gotta stretch it to the tippy top. Reposition that sucker to where I can get it. There we go. Alright. Alright, don't pay attention to that pointer. I just had to remove it and move it back. Way over there to the left. Now let's go in here and see what we got going on. Alright, we talking about right over here to the left of the pillars? Is that what you were talking about there, Jeremy? All I can say is old Ball of Nightmares has got a whole lot of strange in the backyard. Well, Michelle, there's a... When it comes to stuff like this, even I can't see a whole lot. Unless it's just right out there in front, smacking me in the face. Like that Bigfoot stuff. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can find that particular picture. Let me get this back out to where you can see it. Gotta find it first. Should have already had these preloaded before I come on there. But I didn't really think about it going that far. But, well, heck far. Come on, brother. I got the old Louisiana camera day shot. Way back when. There's a few pictures I got to delete. Oh, there's my old brother. Holy cow. Nope, I don't have it on. No. Unfortunately, I do not have the camera or the picture where I can easily bring it up. But we saw something which Dark Waters has had done a whole show on, in between these to the left of the pillars. And then Vault to Nightmares goes out there and made at least 2.5 of that dude. And he's 5'10". At least 2.5, if not more. Something big and giant is back there. So all I can say is interesting, to say the least. All right, folks. 931-994-6917, and the Bass Mayhem is definitely using that wrench. Don't mess with the wrench holders; they'll get you quick. Yeah, the way it's set up, these internet's like a straw. If you start pulling too much through the straw, which if you got a lot of people logging into one singular camera, a lot of people on there will slow the camera down. Definitely. GG says they know how to manipulate tech. Yeah. Well, true. It depends on what they are. If you got an opinion about what happens in the backyard of Wild Nightmares on the Dogman cams, definitely give me a call, 931-994-6917. If you got a theory, wrench reapers, yeah. Bass knows how to swing the wrench, that's for sure. Nuke 'em. Oh, I'm sorry. Nuke 'em is zoom in where the faces were seen in the front of the left of the pillar. Zoom in. Okay. Well, let me see what we come up. We talking about right there? There, Keith. Merry Christmas, Keith. Tell Jimmy Merry Christmas from me as well. Hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. Life, I would like to, but if you start playing other people, whether you got permission or not, to other people's YouTube channels, YouTube don't quite like that. All right. Appreciate the offer, though. Life. Gee whiz, I got a itch and can't scratch it. DC, yes, that is a 10 out there. That was part of the scientifical, borrowing Vault's terminology, scientifical experiment night. He put that out there, and that night he put in that tent a recording of a baby crying. And he did attract something, though. He attracted a bunch of coyotes. Believe it or not. It is from Dogman Cams. Oh, okay. I'll have to. Remind me to do that next show, and I'll try to remember to be able to get it set up to where I can actually do that type of video. I don't have my OBS set up for that right this very moment. But I appreciate y'all the offer and the capture. If you want to go over to Life 1042's YouTube channel and check out the backyard, he captured something in the backyard there from this same camera. All right, we got about a few more minutes left on this free preview. If you want to have exclusive, well, not exclusive, have rights to this camera to be able to see it 24/7, go to dogmancams.com for $5.99 a month, less than a pack of smokes. You'll be able to get access to this and other cameras as they install them across the United States. I think they're actually going to install one up in Alaska, too, in a squatchy area. Just to let you know. I don't know when that's going to be, but I've heard scuttlebutt about that. Well, Well, Jeremy, hurry back. All right. So, I gotta get off of these pictures. I'm seeing some pictures that. Yeah. Anyway, I miss you, my brother. My late brother. I miss you. Just to say that out loud. Well, happy Christmas back to you. For the people that are listening after the fact, Keith and his daddy Jimmy have been on my show a couple times, called in and told some interesting legends and personal experiences from Ireland. And I love their accent. They could read a phone book, and I would be listening to them for a long time. But heck yeah, they got some interesting stuff. Interesting legends over there in Ireland. I love pizza too, TC. There ain't no what. Actually, that is actually a pretty good deal. What I did today, let me tell you. Since you got me thinking about food, I took some turkey breast. Yeah, Dark Waters wants you live 1042. Email him that video at imdarkwaters.com. Oh yeah, I have no doubt about it. After my near-death experience, everybody that has ever passed, they're just waiting for every one of us to come, be with them. Even though it'll be a moment for them, it'll be a lifetime for us, but we'll be back with them. No doubt about it. But, yep, we're about ready to give up the watching this free preview of the Dogman cams, dogmancams.com, $5.99 a month. You'll get access to this camera and other cameras as they progressively increase the number in Dogman Squatchy areas throughout the United States. And up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Dark Waters, there might be one up in Alaska as well. But you never know what you're going to get with this one camera and the other cameras. I think they're going to actually reinstall Blue's camera down in Florida. The fellow that had the viral Dogman video from his live stream over on Facebook, if you remember that one. Fort Pierce, Florida. So stay tuned for that. That would be reason enough just to watch what's going on in his backyard. Alright, folks, like I said, this is a live stream with wanting your live calls, 931-994-6917. I actually had a lady call me 2 or 3 days ago in the middle of the day and said, I'm just checking to see if this phone number is legit. And I was like, okay. Are you Sean from Chasing the Truth? Yeah, I'm Sean from Chasing the Truth. Just making sure this is a legit number. I was like, all right, so every time I go live and people call me live on air, that doesn't sound legit. Whatever happened to Blue segment? You'd have to... I honestly don't know. Second camera at Vault Property, yep. Think they're going to put one pretty close to this camera, I believe, and then one maybe over in Z-Wiki Woods, possibly, if I remember correctly. But Dark Waters is saying second camera at Vault Property, so there you go. Put turkey out there to see if Dogman likes turkey. Well, if he wants to attract something that's cryptid, put a piece of bacon out there somewhere. Pound of bacon. But it's getting awful expensive. Holy cow, bacon is going out the roof for the cost. Nichols says, had a paranormal experience, please call. We are a nice group. Yep. Darkwater says, Blues camera, another in Mississippi, and then the Corners cam in Virginia. Oh, man. That's interesting. That's cool. Absolutely cool. I'll be looking forward to look at these things. The cameras I got outside my property, all I get is interesting goings on in the middle of the night. Neighbors and the occasional deer will run through my backyard. Michelle Smith says bacon will track the heck out of the cryptids. Yep. But, all right, folks. Like I said, this was a free preview, dogmancams.com. If you want to have total access to this, go to dogmancams.com and sign up. And for $5.99 a month, you can get access to this thing 24/7 and other cameras as they're installed. So, that's it for this preview. Let me change the OBS out here. Turn that audio off over there, and then take this and say bye-bye to the free preview. And go over to the chat, and there we go. Let me take that pointer off there. Absolutely. Merry Christmas to everybody. If you just popped in, thank you. We got 80 listeners and 81 likes. Holy cow. Thank you for hitting those thumbs up, folks. Every time that you hit those thumbs up, the algorithm gods like to say, hey, this is an interesting live stream. So hit those thumbs up if you want to. Life said he sent the email to DW, so there you go. If you've found interesting things on these cameras, dogmancams.com, please email iamdarkwaters. I am at iamdarkwaters.com. And I can't remember DDoS's email. He's got that DDoS at something. DDoS error. I can't even remember. It's not DDoS at Dogman Cams. I think he's got that, but he doesn't check it or something of that nature. But he's got another one. Oklahoma DOS or DDoS Oklahoma or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Don't send that out. I don't know. If anybody's got a wrench that's got DDoS's Oklahoma email, pop that in the chat there. And let's see, the Vault of Nightmares 2.0 is another one to send it to. Or you can send it to me, and I can always forward it to somebody. Sean G at iamdarkwaters.com. But it's a whole lot shorter to put it to IM at iamdarkwaters.com. So there you go. Let's see. Let me pull up the chat so I can read it real quick. You go out there for bacon, TC says. But it's an interesting thing to talk about: supernatural, dogman, cryptid, paranormal. Do you think these cryptids, these dogmen, these Sasquatch, Bigfoot, boogers? There we go. Oklahoma DOS at gmail.com. If you have a capture on the Dogman Cams, email oklahomados at gmail.com. Thanks, Lakea. Appreciate that. He's definitely the fellow to go to, including I Am Dark Waters. I am at iamdarkwaters.com. Send those videos and captures from the Dogman Cams project, dogmancams.com. It definitely is interesting to say the least, what you capture on these things. You put these things out in regions where there's known cryptid activity, you're going to catch something. All right, give me just a second. We got a caller on the line. Give me just a second. Get you on there. All right, caller, you're on the line.
What's up, Sean? It's DW. What's happening, baby?
Man, just sitting here doing a live stream. Just did a
Hey, I wanted
preview.
to give a little bit of an update. How you feeling today? Everything going good with you?
Can't complain. God's graced me with another day.
So we're definitely rolling out a second camera on Vault's property to angle back towards that area where we actually captured that first Bigfoot. And then we're going to roll out another camera. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Z-Wiki Woods or this other lady's property. I think we're going to go to that lady's property who's been having a Bigfoot beating on our house. And then from there, we're going back to Blue. And after Blue, we're going to Connor. So we got a whole bunch of cameras being deployed.
Oh, where's Connor going to put a camera?
That one's, remember the one that he showed with the picture of the lightning bolt or whatever it was? We're going to go right back to that same location.
I have no clue what the hell that thing was.
Yeah, well, we're going back to that same location. So, and my plan is to ambitiously roll out as many as we can. We're at a point now where we can roll them out. It's just a matter of having a good location. So we'll definitely have a bunch in Mississippi. We got a couple of locations down here in Louisiana that I know of. So we're just going to roll and keep rolling, bro.
You're going to put another camera down where you had that last Louisiana camera?
The one that got took? Yeah, probably will. Yeah, probably will. Well, anyway, I just wanted to give an update and say hello. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Merry Christmas to you, sir.
All right, talk to you later. Bye.
Yeah. All right, Dark Waters himself just giving you update. This is Chasing Truth Sean G's live stream on my own YouTube channel. Interesting chat so far. We started off with talking about shadow people. And oddly enough, I don't know if it's synchronicity or synchronistic, but I usually listen to an odd stream here and there from the old Art Bell, and there was an Art Bell stream where he played an old 1950s, 8 minutes and a piece of an old 1950s show that was talking about, of all strangest things, shadow people. And where they come from and what they think that it was. So it's been around longer than I've been alive for sure. So, Merry Christmas, folks. And this is my last Christmas stream of the year for this channel. I'll be back next week again with this channel. But this is the last one right before Christmas. And then I'm going to be working on a best of for Christmas Day, my Saturday show for the Fringe.fm and Dark Waters channels. Get that all queued up and raring to go. And then Friday, Christmas Eve, Vault of Nightmares will possibly, I know he's going to be doing a live stream with fireworks. And I haven't decided whether to do this or not. We got Tony, the one-man band on there coming up just a second. Hey, Tony, what's going on? One-man band. What's up with you, brother?
Oh, not a lot, man. What's going on with you?
I just doing a live stream. What's up?
Yeah,
what's on your mind, brother?
It's been a while since I've been on the show, man. I had a baby and, life.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations. How big is that young one?
So she is, let's see here. So she was born, 7 pounds, 14 ounces. And then now she's like almost 9 pounds. So she's a little chunk. Yeah. Little piece of meat. That's a pretty decent sized brisket right there for.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a healthy size for a newborn for sure.
Yeah, she's growing every day, but no, yeah, it's been a while. I hadn't called in, and I got a few stories that I don't know if you'd like to hear a story or two, Sean. I feel like I haven't heard a lot of stories tonight.
No, go ahead. I want to hear another story. Sure, that's why I do this thing.
Yes, sir. So my grandpa passed a week after, I guess, 2 days after my daughter was born, and we had his kind of like a viewing. I think that following weekend the following weekend, and I was around a bunch of cousins and kinfolk and all that, and I was hearing some stories. Well, I got a section of my family. They're real big into big snakes. and what I mean by big snakes, I'm talking like unnaturally huge snakes, like almost kind of magical snakes, I guess you can call them. We call them tie snake in Muskogee, and we call it East Aquanaya in Muskogee Creek. And we were sitting there talking, and I have to send you my cousin. He showed a picture he caught on Google Earth of this big, long, black-looking snake. It looked like it was resting on the bank of a lake here in Oklahoma, and it was long too. Like you could, it was crazy. I was like, "Dad, how you gonna catch that? Like, how long did that take? How long did that take you to find that, man? Jesus, I mean, it's the largest lake in Oklahoma, and it's like, man, how did you find that?" But he did digging. But so we kept talking, and another one of my cousins, she was like, "Man, I got a story. I ain't really told nobody, but we was all out at this lake, and there was three of us. One of our cousins was pregnant, and then her boy, and then her baby daddy, and then her. And the lake that I'm speaking about, it's kind of it's a man-made lake. It's dirty. You can't really see in front of you, but you can see just enough in front of you where it's just kind of, you can see probably to arm length. And she said that she kind of got swept under the current, because how the bank went, because it goes like the bank, and then it gets, obviously it gets deeper, and it just drops off in this lake. Mm-hmm. Well, she kind of got caught off in the undercurrents, like as she was stepping off that little area where she could just barely touch, and she got pulled down pretty deep. And she looked, and she kind of had her eyes open, I guess, just kind of almost panicking, that she might be drowning, because it's undercurrent. But when she opened her eyes, she said that there was a big old eye in front of her. And I was like, "What do you mean eye?" She's like, "There was a big old eye. It was like the size of a basketball." I'm like, "The size of a basketball?" She's like, and then she's like, "The scales, it had scales all around the eye." And I said, "What was it? Was it like a catfish? Because that lake is known for monster catfish." She said, "No, this thing was bigger than that. I mean, it was the biggest thing I've ever seen in that lake." Well, then she actually kind of like, it sat there for a minute. She could feel something pulling on her swimsuit, or the top of her swimsuit, kind of like on the strap. And she said that the pregnant woman our pregnant cousin pulled her up, but as she was leaving, she could see that it was a snake. It had a snake head, and it had what we call, like I said, tie snake here, or East Aquanaya. Yeah, she said, "Yeah, that was him." She said she said I could see the scales, and I could see it, as I was kind of coming back to the top. But I was like, man, that's crazy. And with those things, people, when I get kind of a little bit weirded out when I hear people telling stories like, "Oh, I saw this last night," and kind of superstitious. We've talked about this before. I'm a little bit superstitious when it comes to that stuff, because usually most times you're supposed to wait a year when you see something you don't know how to explain. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of what way we're taught, and she said, "I ain't tell nobody for a year. I just want to make sure I wasn't gonna get sick or nothing." So I mean, I always hear that, people telling stories. "Oh, I saw this last night. I saw this. Yeah, I saw Bigfoot last night, or I saw a werewolf, or whatever." That, I guess that might just be the us Indians, where we just kind of, we're so superstitious. We're like, "Nah, we ain't gonna tell you that story for a while. Make sure we ain't get no mm-hmm. residual stuff." But yeah, I mean, all these stories, man. I've heard, I have so many stinking cousins, man. It's ridiculous, and aunts and uncles, and at my grandpa's viewing, and kind of his maybe a little bit of memorial. I was talking to everybody. I just kind of like, "Hey, what's going on? Like, what's the pulse?" My grandpa was real big into story. He was a storyteller. And I'm kind of in the same vein. I'm obviously not as good as him. I mean, I get there. He's just comes with it just to keep telling stories. But you know, that was kind of what he did, and he collected stories.
All right.
You know, and you know, all these snake stories just started coming out of all my cousins, and my cousins were all the Kiowas. So I'm, as I've said this before, I'm Cherokee, Kiowa, Muskogee Creek, and Cheyenne Arapaho, and so my Kiowa family, you know, they were started telling their snake stories, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy. But another one was a guy who had a buddy who worked for the Department of Interiors. He was telling him, I guess this would be me secondhand, but telling him firsthand, you know, that when the lake flooded, the same lake, by the way, when the lake flooded, he thought he could hear a cow out in the middle of the lake. They were out on a boat, and they kept looking over there. They thought they saw a cow, and it was like, moo, it kept mooing. And it was like, what does that sound? Well, you know, if you don't know, then you don't know. But what those snakes do is that's how they kind of lure people in, because you think a cow's drowning, you know, or some type of animal's, you know, struggling in the water. You go out and check it, and it takes you. And he said that, yeah, he said they kind of went out there, like kind of got closer, and they looked, and they said, that don't look like no cow. That looks like a snake. That looks like a snake. And that snake had its head just barely out of the water, just making that sound. Big old snake. They said the head was monstrous. So you never know what the snake
was making a cow noise.
Yep, that's the sound they make. Now, you know, there's all types of, you know, myths. The Seminole, I heard a story from a Seminole man from Florida talking about these snakes. I've heard it from Kiowas. I've heard it from Cherokees. Cherokees have their own name for it. You know, Muskogee Creek have, we got our own way of, you know, the snake, but it's crazy, you know, that these things, people just see them, you know, and there's probably been non-native people that seen this snake and didn't realize, you know, thinking it was like an octopus or something, you know, because I've heard stories of people seeing an octopus in that lake. You know, it's all types of crazy stuff out there.
Holy cow. So let's get back to that baby. How old is the baby now?
3 weeks.
It'll
be 3 weeks. She'll be 3 weeks on Friday.
Oh man, are you guys getting sleep now, or you just now?
Man, I haven't. We both haven't slept, man. Come on now. That's another reason why I haven't called in. I was like,
that's the reason why I asked.
I mean, I have not caught I've caught some of your shows. I'll dip in, but man, most of the time it's like when it starts getting dark outside, I'm like, man, is it 10 o'clock yet? Is it my bedtime? Like I start looking at the clock and stuff, but yeah, it's been pretty fun. You know, if you get to your highest of high, you know, having a baby, and then you kind of get rocked back to reality with your grandpa past. Especially my grandpa meant a lot to me. You know, he taught me a lot of my culture, and you know, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, you're supposed to ask your elders, you know, what's going on. So, but I'm leveling back out. I'm kind of, you know, it took me a while to even talk about him, and but you know, things are going to be looking up. You know, you know, I always have this phrase, you know, bad times create strong men create good times, and that's kind of how I live my life, you know, when it comes to stuff like that.
I like that saying. I'm gonna have to steal that one.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, that'll be I'm gonna have to trademark that. I'll get $5 off you every time.
All right, that sounds good.
I'll get off here, man. I know the show's running a little bit long, but I'll get out your hair, man. I just wanted to call in and say what's up and.
Well, Merry Christmas, God bless, and hope that little girl starts to sleep pretty soon in the middle of the night, but I doubt that. That takes a while.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Hopefully I'll get some sleep, and I'll holler at you later, man. Thank you, and Merry Christmas to you as well.
Merry Christmas, buddy. God bless, and I'll talk to you later. Tony, one-man band. Holy cow. Have you ever heard the tale of a snake mooing to attract its prey? I honestly have not. Uh-oh, I believe I know this fella. Give me just a second. Keith, is this you from Ireland?
It is. Alon, I'm just trying to turn down the volume here so we don't get overlaps.
All
Can
right.
you still hear?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah, I can notice that it's usually you're just about a couple of seconds behind. Like you can notice it when Volk is out in his back garden, like, and when DW does turn up the volume on the camera, you can notice like we can hear him perfectly live, but then there's a little delay. You know, you can notice that on the when you ring in first. You know, but I could turn down the laptop because I'd
Right.
use the phone just as a half. You know,
Oh,
but yeah, uh, you see, because like you're basically in the middle of the night over there when you'd be going, I'd like to organize it like one of the nights because like Jimmy sometimes he'd just be up till 1 o'clock and he'd go to bed because we just found out he's anemic as well now there, but less than a month ago, you
right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't either, you know, and which he has all the signs of as well, you know, but yeah, but then sometimes like, so he just has no sleep pattern whatsoever. So the next time he's up, yeah, I'm going to get him to call in, and because I was telling him that you were mad to chat to him about about how things were over here when he was growing up, and
Yeah.
basically it would have been the same for you. Like I heard do you know Josh Taylor Wolf over at PRT? Like I
Yeah.
heard him saying like in Texas, like you didn't get the electricity until the 50s, and 53 and 54 and that, and that's the same. That was the same here in Ireland, like
Mm-hmm.
you know, there was there was meant to be this one family, and
All right. Hey, Keith, you're breaking up, buddy. I can't hear you.
they had this television, and there was like,
I believe our
can you hear me
connections.
now?
I believe our connection's not so good over in Ireland.
Hold on, no, a second, hold on, wait a second. What time is it now? All
Mm.
right, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you
Yep.
hear me better now? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I had to stand. Yeah. Well, anyway, this is a joke by a comedian over here that they were spent days anyway looking at this television until on the third day, one of them actually plugged it in and turned it on. You know, that was Tommy Tiernan. You know, Tommy Tiernan is a good old Irish comedian.
Right.
But yeah, I have to get Jimmy in because like it done him the world of good, you know, because he thought he was just talking to you on your own. But like when I was saying, look, Jimmy, see all the orange there coming up on the right, and that's all people writing in to me to say, to say that that they like you and that they love your stories. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And and all things like that. That made him feel so good, like because since he had that stroke, like he's just going downhill, like, and he's basically, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. He's in his dying phases now.
Oh, I
And
hate to hear
I
that.
don't want it to happen. Because me and him is the
Mm-hmm.
best friends, and I don't know what I'm going to do without him. But like I was
Well,
just out of college, you know what I mean, doing electrical engineering, because I just
mhm.
fell in love with that, and I was learning that for years. Then just watching YouTube videos and renting out and getting books out of the library and that. And didn't realize that I was able that I had a pure, like could pick it up just like fucking just like nothing, like just pick it up just like that, like I could talk the physics around the capacitor or inductor for hours with people, but yeah, I'll arrange with you someday that will suit you, and that will usually on a Wednesday, because you'd be usually always on a Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I might try and arrange with him like next Wednesday, and uh see how he is. I'll get talking to him, and there's a couple of other people he wants to get talking to just to see if we can, throw in an odd ghost story. But do you know when he's talking, like, because his memory has gone so bad since he had the stroke in 2018, and the other day we were only just talking about normal things, and then next minute he remembered a thing about a man who'd have thought they were the first one in the area to get electricity, and then it was another 2 months before the poles managed to come up as far as the house that they were in before they moved over to where his auntie gave his grandfather the land, because he was the only one that was going over helping, and he wasn't doing it, do you know what I mean, oh, I'll get the land one day. It was just the sort that he was, do you know what I mean? He was just a real gentle, nice man. Like nobody ever had a bad word to say about him, But when I was talking to him anyway, there was this man anyway, and he had the thrasher, right, and he had lights in his yard, electric light, and he was running the thrasher, so he was, and he had a load of hay. Like you can have forks in front of the little tractors, like the little 20 tractors, little small Massey Fergusons. I don't know whether you have them over there now, but they've been very popular over here and in England as well. Um, but anyway, they'd have big forks built that to be able to push the grass along, do you know what I mean, and bring it up to the yard and then feed it into the thrasher, and then it was like a thrasher, and then bale it would bale the hay, But they heard that going, and next minute, boys were up and milking cows. Like he used to go up and help them milk the cows because he wasn't able to get the. He managed to buy an extra 2 fields, and he wasn't able to manage the 2 fields on his own. So my father and his father and maybe one of my father's brothers went up and says, "So we'll help you milk the cows," just out of goodness of his heart. Now, not getting paid for it or nothing, because that's just the way he was, And next minute, I heard the man screaming off his head, and they ran out. They thought he got caught up in the thrasher,
Mm-hmm.
and the like a thrasher isn't for garbage. Like it's for a field. It's for working with grass. If anyone in the chat there is listening and don't know, I'd say, Sean, you know what a thrasher is.
I've heard of them, yeah. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, maybe. I think I've seen them in some farmers' fields around here, but
Yeah.
I've never had my hands on one.
No, you wouldn't want to get your hands caught in one, or you'd be sucked straight into it. But they were convinced by the screams out of this man, yeah, that he was caught in a thrasher. So they're running around anyway, and there he was standing white as a ghost, and there he was heading for the house. He went in, and like it was a good hour, so it was of him there just sitting there shaking, white as a ghost, and stuttering. And they finally got the story out of him, and he says that he met a man dressed all in black, a big black figure. It says twice the width of him, and all he could notice on him was just a big black belt buckle. And when he asked who he was, and he had like a little, do you know those little, the real old lead acid batteries and then you could charge them, but it could take 6 hours to charge, but you'd only get like an hour of light out of it. They were real old batteries. They would have been the very first ones that were used. The bulbs would have been the very first type of ones that were used on a bike, where you had to, click the dynamo, and next minute you felt like you were pedaling with about 10 tons behind you, But anyway, apparently this big fella, all dressed in black, and had this big black belt, shiny belt buckle, square on right on in where you'd button your belt. He says next minute he flew up over the ditch, which was 15 foot. He flew up over the ditch and then flew on down across the field up in the air. Can't explain that. Like, so there's loads of little things, if you were chatting along to him, that he'd remember different paranormal things,
Right.
Because he's got like, cause he thought he told you all of his story, so he has nothing left to say. And I said, but there's loads of other people like that like to talk to you. Do you know what I mean? And you could tell them the stories, because they'd have different fan clubs and that, like, and they'd be nice to hear it, because not many people ring in from Ireland. I've noticed not many people, like, either they're ashamed to talk about it, or they
Or
just
they're
don't know about these cryptid things.
or they just haven't found the the YouTube stuff. They
Yeah,
just don't know
yeah,
to
I
look
haven't
for it.
found the YouTube stuff either, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I've ever shared a video on my life, and I don't use Facebook or Twitter, and my phone
You're a
downloaded
better
Twitter
man
by,
for it. You're a
you
better
know,
man for it.
no,
Twitter and
can't
Facebook are
stand
both
it.
just.
Oh, it's just they're built just for people. It's like It's like they're built just for people's egos to build more and more and more, to the point where people are gone schizophrenic, where they don't know whether they're this person here, you know what I mean, with the glossy face and the perfect life, or whether they're
Mm-hmm.
this person here, do you know what I mean, with the three
Right.
children.
Right.
The boyfriend just left them, or just gave them a bait, and took all their money and just left them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, I've often met people up the town, right? And I've said hello to them, and they literally turned red in the face and just turned their back to me and blanked me. Do you know what I mean? And I could see the embarrassment in their face, right? Because years
Right.
ago I had a name for heroin. Do you know what I mean? And that's in a small town. That's bad. Do you know what I mean? But I'm talking years ago. I'm talking decades ago, like 20 odd years ago, 25 years ago. Do you know? So, but fucking then later on that evening, not literally like 5 hours hadn't passed, and next minute on Facebook, I'm getting people saying, "Oh, well, oh yeah, they're seeing you in town there today. You're looking well. What's the story with you and all that?" I'm thinking, "You two-faced bastard." So that day, like, I said, right, I'll say nothing, right? The next time I see him, I should see him fairly regularly. It's just that I wouldn't. He'd be obviously the other side of the street or driving by in a car. Says the next time I see him up close, I'm going to put that to him.
Mm.
You know, and but I haven't seen him since. But it's happened then lots of other times. You know what I mean?
All right.
I I better stand back up again just in case it goes. Yeah, no, it's gone again. But anyway, yeah, that's why I hate Facebook. Because it's just it feeds into people's egos, and as far as I'm concerned, your ego hates you, and you don't need it.
No,
You know.
I consider Facebook and Twitter and a whole lot of them just cesspools of negativity.
Yeah, yeah. This is the only place where I actually talk to people live, is YouTube. This is the only thing I look at on the computer, is YouTube. I look at nothing else. The odd time I do look for a really good fucking. Do you know, I York like to download a film, like, and I'll watch The Mandalorian, or I'll watch like a film that you're not meant to be watching. I'll do that. I think we all do that, uh, but my younger brother does have Netflix and that, and he gave me the code, and he had Sky Go, and he gave me the code to that, but then didn't pay the bill. But he just had a new baby girl there the other day, and he said he got custody of his 17-year-old, who just turned no, well, his 18-year-old. So he was already past children's allowance. See, the way that the welfare works over here, if you're not working, um, say if you're working for 5 years and then you stopped working, you'll get paid stamps. So you'll get paid like 220 euros a week, yeah, and then you'll get 100 euros a month on top of that. Now, if you were on disability, you're entitled to all different things. You can get up to 250 a month. Now, see, you with your leg gone, you can get an extra 250 at the end of every month as well. Like my uncle, who was he was paraplegic, he was in a wheelchair, he was getting an extra dole, and at the end they call it dole, or meant to be job seekers allowance, and job seekers benefit is basically like disability and things like that. But Jimmy is on pension, so you can only be on either disability or pension. But because he's over the pension age of 65, to put him on pension. But I'm his carer, so I get 220, and I used to get €203 on the dole. And then when you turn 18, you get €105 on the dole, and then when you turn 20, I think you get 160, and then when you turn 21, then you get the full dole. But like, you're looked after very well over here. Everybody gets a medical card, no matter whether your parents are working or on. If you're a child, you get a medical card which covers everything. Do you know what I mean? So like, you're very well looked after in this country. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you still get people who complain. Do you know? But I do like to, like, I can earn up to, what is it? I can work for something like 300 and something hours or something, or I can earn up to 300 and something euros before I'm means tested, like doc money. But it's a great little country when it comes to, like hospital care, because I've seen it over there, like, where if you don't have insurance, you could be going in with a bullet wound in your head into the emergency, and you have to sit and wait in line. It's crazy, like. Now, I've only seen that in films and in documentaries, but I don't know how true it is. Maybe it's different in different states, but if it's really like that, that would never happen over here in Ireland, you know. But yeah, anyway, I am, next Wednesday, should be able to get Jimmy on and get him chatting to you, because it done him
Just
the
send me a message if he feels up to it. I'll see what we can do. I'd love to hear him talk.
I think I have your email, because I think I sent you a yoke up an orb and baby. So I would have your email, and I'll just grab it off the screen. It'll be on the screen anyway, and I'll send you an email, and I'll say.
Or just send me a
message
Skype.
you in the next, or a Skype. Oh yeah. You can message from Skype. I forgot about that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And or if you're on and he's still up, I'll write in the chat. I'll write Jimmy's here. We're going to make a phone call. So we are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear some more stories from him.
Yeah, because once even if he's just talking about old times and that, then he'll remember other things. You know what I mean? And like, he doesn't like telling stories of people like who he doesn't know, or people or places that he doesn't know the area, or people who he wouldn't 100% trust or wouldn't know unless he got to know them later on and knew that they weren't a bullshitter. Then he would say, yeah, then I believe that person, because you do get an awful lot of bullshitters. You will get people who will lie, and I don't know why. You will get people that will lie, probably just, it makes them feel better. And, well,
honestly, I don't know
I suppose if it's only a little white lie and it's making them feel better, at the end of the day, it's not bad. I don't look at it as bad. It entertained us, and and they felt a little bit better. Do you know what I mean? And there's obviously something not right in their head that they needed to do to tell a lie just to feel wanted. But I don't find that bad either. But Jimmy won't tell a story unless he knows the person and knows the area.
Well, I appreciate him calling in and telling stories. I would let him read a phone book. I love you guys' accents.
Yeah, because it's the accent, you see, and I was watching a YouTube video on it. It was this American fella, and says 10 things to look out for in Ireland when you're visiting here. And I think number 2 or it says everyone's so friendly here. Like, You know, you could stop and ask the directions. The next minute, everybody will stop and say, "Oh, this down that way," and then someone will stop and say, "Oh, I'm going that direction. I'll show you." You know, if you're in a town and you wanted to know where somewhere to get somewhere to eat, you know, and that's the way it is in Ireland, you know. And then everybody curses. Everybody from 10-year-olds, you know, if someone was like young, like 6 or 7, and they curse, their parents will try and say, don't curse, don't curse. But then when they reach 10, you know, it doesn't sound like they're cursing, you know, because we sort of integrate it into how we speak, you know. So you could be going down the street and you'd meet two old grannies, you know what I mean? Women like you know what I mean, who's lived a good and honest life, and they'd be there cursing and swearing out them like they were sailors or something, you know. But they don't mean anything bad by it. Even the priest does curse over here and swear, you know. But we don't mean anything bad by it, you know.
I've got my aunt, her granddaughter. I think she's just almost ready to turn 6, and my aunt said, I think shit or something in front of her, and she's like,
Yeah.
Mama, you're not supposed to say that. Well, you don't tell, you know, she's like, oh my God, don't tell her son that she cussed in front of her. Well, that little sneaky, red-headed 5-year-old tries to use that to blackmail her.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like, so
oh my
she
God,
caught wind.
she's
She caught
clever,
wind.
so
Yeah, little redhead, clever. But she, smart as she is, she goes in front of her son and says, "Hey, I said shit in front of your daughter. Sorry about that." And then, you know, kind of circumvented the blackmail.
oh my God. Clever as anything, huh?
Those. It's amazing how clever these kids are. Holy
Yeah.
cow! I don't know if I
But
was
I
that
remember
clever
when,
at that
when
age.
you know when we were growing up, like the person like who would give you, you know, if you're in trouble and you needed to get a spanking, it was always my mother who would do the spanking. Jimmy was just he was too laid back and that, like, and you couldn't come running into me mother and say, "Oh, mommy, I'm after seeing a fairy." You know what I mean? I'm after seeing a fairy, or I'm after seeing a leprechaun, or I'm after seeing a, a, a fairy with wings or something. You know, just trying to, or I heard a banshee. She go, you're only just hearing things. But you said it to me father. He'd say, and where was it? He'd want to know all the details, and he wants to go, right, come and show me now. And he'd bring you right, make you walk right back across the fields, right? Where did you hear it? And what way did it go? What direction did it go? And next thing you go, that's very strange. I remember the time I told him about the leprechaun thing. And I didn't find out until just a month ago that that was the exact same place that the big, massive black dog came busting out after his younger brother John, my uncle John. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know that at the time. Like, and for years I was trying to pass it off. Did I have a mad imagination when I was a gossin? You know, when I was a young fella. Did I have was it a dream? I says, no, it wasn't a dream, because, like, you know, I only sleep like 3 or 4 hours, and it's, you know, it's on and off, you know, it's not full hours, you know. I find all very hard to sleep. All my life I've found it hard to sleep. And there's no way that I'd lie in a ditch in a field in the countryside and fall asleep. Not a hope in hell, you know. So I was always just trying to think, was it my imagination? It was too much of an imagination, you know. I was trying to back it off, and then I decided, you know what, it happened. And then when I heard that, uh, the big black dog, when my uncle was coming up that road that's up near it, and took the shortcut down through it, and then went straight underneath that hazelnut tree where the yoke is, and then he walked down past it, and then out at the bottom of it, you know, because the blackthorn started up at the top, and they they were about let me see, they were about say 15, 20 yards in places. Let me see. Would it be 15, 20 yards? No, it'd be 15 yards in places out from the main ditch where the trees were. Like, and blackthorns are just they're really, really, like, they're just thorns. They're really spiky, and they're really sore if they get stuck into you because they're really, really hard. Do you know the shillelaghs that you see made? The
Yeah,
Irish shillelagh.
I
It's a
was about
little
ready to
small
ask you
stick,
about
yeah,
that.
and it's black. Yeah, that's made out of blackthorn. So it is. And the reason why they were made is because um boys would meet up in beaches or fields or at fairs, and they'd wear like paddy caps, and then they'd wear straw and bits of sponge or whatever they could underneath the paddy cap, and then they'd take out a shillelagh, and because it was so small, it couldn't be considered a stick or a bat or anything like that, because it was so small, and they'd bait the heads off each other, and because it'd be, a family rivalry, and that's how they used to settle it, you know. But boys have been killed and everything down, like, this is going back in the 1800s now. This was very popular with the shillelaghs, but that's where the shillelagh originated from. It was big.
Hmm.
It was a way of guards, but the priests held more authority than the guards did in this country right up until the 70s. You know, right up until the 70s. Like, in the
Hmm.
70s, there was a law here, right, that if your wife, if you caught your wife having sex with another man, you could bring that man to court, and he would have to pay you money if you caught him having sex with your wife. And that law was only abolished in the late 70s. That's just crazy. I was thinking,
Wonder
just
how many times
fucking
that law
crazy.
was
Like,
used since
oh, it was used a good few times. Yeah, I was reading all different precedents. Like, if you get a piece of law, and then someone else can use it. Like, do you ever watch any lawyer shows, like, or court drama shows, and the person might jump up and say, Kramer versus Lewitsky, the 1979 rules that in such a case, that the person cannot be held responsible, and was not given the you know fair play or due course, or whatever,
Mm.
you know. So that's like whatchamacallit. But I had to learn a lot of that because I was driving around without tax and insurance for a long, long time, and used to get away with it just because a lot of people in America I see do it now, like, where they claim common law instead of accepting legislation and that. But I'll let you go anyway, because I'll just start wandering into all sorts of things, you know. And I'll let Jimmy, the real good speaker, get on, and I'll tell him
Okay.
that you're on next Wednesday, and he'll be up, so he will, and I'll stick him on, and you just ask him all different questions, like, how did they build a hay, and how did they ask him about the helicopter that he tried to make, and that he got his two brothers to push him off the reek of hay. And this reek of hay would have been up 16 foot more. I remember years ago they used to get all the hay and push it into the middle of the field, and it'd be up in a big reek, and it'd be huge. It'd be about the height of a two-story house, like. And he had this little box made out of plywood, yeah. And what he had inside was a bicycle wheel, and he had the bicycle wheel all covered in felt that he got off an old umbrellas. And there he was spinning this bicycle wheel like a mad thing, thinking that if the boys pushed him off, that he'd start flying like if it was a helicopter. He was only about 6, so he was nearly killed, stone dead. And to this day, he'll still tell you that he managed to get up a bit, fly a little bit before he went down and smashed into the ground. But I know I'll have to laugh at him because he's mad. He's no fear, so he hasn't, no fear in him whatsoever.
All right.
But I'll get him chatting to you anyway, Sean, and it'd be great for me that when I know like that when he does finally go, which I hope is another decade down the line, and not, you know, a year. But at least I have his voice and his stories, you know what I mean,
Right.
recorded. I have them downloaded from your show, downloaded onto my laptop and that, and onto a separate USB that I keep on my keyrings and that, so that I have his voice, so that I can listen back to his stories, which I've heard a million times before. But I says you have to tell these to the world, or else they're going to be lost, Jimmy. You know.
Well,
So
any that he wants to share with me, I would love to hear them.
yeah, I know he likes you. Like I've told him about going to other people. Said there's lots of other people out there who would love to talk to you. He goes, I know, I like Sean. I says, yeah, but Sean's a fierce, likable fella on YouTube. Like even other YouTubers do say it. Like he's just one of those guys. Like he's really really likable. And then when I told him about Vault and DW going down to Mississippi, do you remember in Hurricane Katrina? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And sorting out the assholes who were like hoarding all the supplies and that, like, he was well impressed in that, like, like,
Oh yeah,
and
they
that
got some
says
good hearts. Those two
I
men got
says
some good hearts.
yeah, I says you should talk to them as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm sure they will welcome any conversation with him.
He's interested in talking. Yeah. I says you should talk to them, like they're really, really good people. I says DW and that, like he just go out of his way, so he does like completely out of his way to help people, whether it's with money or whether it's making phone calls to the right a politician or that, so a person will get a house, or a grant or something. He goes out of his way to help people, like, he's like a proper good Christian, a good soul. And he was really admired by that. And I said, see Vault, and I was pointing out Vault. And he says, yeah, I like the way he talks, so I do, like, no bullshit. And I says, yeah, the first time I heard him was on Sean's show, and he just happened to be taking a rest out hunting. Next minute, he comes across a mysterious murder. Do you remember that one? And he was tracing the dogmen for ages, and then he traced them up onto there was a lake, and he traced them up onto a bluff, and it looked like something landed there or something and took them away.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time I heard Vault's voice, and I says, "Oh God, I have to hear more of this man." And I didn't know
Would you believe he's been trying to clean up his language?
that he had his bunch. I can imagine because I'm even trying to hold back on my language now, because I know that we do curse a lot, Irish people, like, so I'm trying to hold back my language.
All right. Well, Keith, it sounds like your internet's about ready to go out, or
But
mine is one.
oh yeah, wait, I'll stand up again. I'm going to let you go anyway, and I'm going to get talking to Jimmy, and hopefully next Wednesday you can get chatting to him then. I'll tell him to be, I'll tell him you can stay up anyway and you can talk to Sean, because I have it arranged and all. And all you have to do is just talk about anything you want. It doesn't have to be about strange things. He really wants to know how you grew up in Ireland and that, and what things were like, in Ireland and that.
Absolutely.
Well,
tell him Merry Christmas. Yeah, tell him Merry Christmas from everybody over on the Dark Waters family channel, and everybody from over here on this channel. And holy cow! Hope you guys have a fantastic Christmas. Yeah,
we're going into me brothers there, so we are. Him and his girlfriend, they just had she's called Lily Marie, she's a little baby girl, and then he got custody of 4. Well, he was only 12 at the time. He's 14 now. And they were living here, and then now they're living in town, like. And but she already has a child, a young fella, he's only about maybe 6 or 7, like, and he's autistic. But thank God he's not like where you can't touch him or rub against him or where he's very all he does is laugh. He just does nothing but laugh the whole time. He's just constantly laughing. Do you know what I mean? And he'll come and he'll sit on your lap and he'll do as he told. He can't speak though whatsoever. He can just make basic noises but he's a fierce good gossin, he's a good little gossin, and so we're going to go in there, so we are, and then we're going to probably come back out here, and then I might ask my older brother. He was in the see, I'd like to get talking to Vault, because Vault knows all about the the 1%er bike gangs and that, because my older brother was in a 1%er bike gang, a famous one. Like I said, the name there, you'd know them well, so you would.
Well, you have to be careful about mentioning anything that has to do with those.
Yeah, well, he's not with them no more. Do you know what I mean? He left, and there's going to be no comeback over it, because I don't know what it was. He won't. You know the way they are. They'll take their secrets to their grave, and even from their family. But whatever the reason was, it was good enough that him and six other of the probably the hardiest, the most dangerous boys left. But and they started up their own club, but then they just decided, nah, do you know what, fuck the club, we just fucking live our lives, boys,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fucking, he was with them, and but there was theft going on or something like that. I managed to get half it out of him when he was drunk, and yeah, they're serious. Like, you have to hang around with them for years, and then you get your patch, and your patch could be anything from a year to 18 months to 2 years before you get your full patch. And then you have to prove yourself to get your full patch, and that's either breaking the law or committing murder. And I asked my brother straight into his eyes, have you killed someone? Please tell me the truth. And he told me the truth, and he says, no, he robbed the shop. And that shop mightn't even be in Ireland, because they used to have to go away over to Europe, because the headquarters was in Belgium at the time. So that's that anyway. But I'd like for him to come over Christmas Day and see him, because I'd hate for Jimmy not to wake up one day, and then the boys, the boys fucking hold a grudge against me to say, oh, why didn't you tell us he was as bad as what he was? And when they are when they know, they should know how bad he is, but they don't be here often enough to see him. They don't get to see the bad parts. Where he's losing his balance and falling over, or he thinks he's falling down under the couch, and but anyway, I'm going to let you go before I start thinking too much about my father, son.
Oh yeah, well, I appreciate you calling in.
I'm going to let you go, and I'll make sure that he's on next Wednesday, so I will.
Okay,
right.
Well, just drop me a line, and I will try my best to make sure we get give him ample time to say whatever he needs to say.
Yeah, no problem.
All
I didn't
right,
mean to stay on the line this long myself either. I just wanted to call in just to say that I
oh, that's all right, Keith. I love talking to you, brother. Yeah, that's all right. That's part of a good show.
Minute,
Right, you can just let them ramble. Sometimes there's a nugget of truth in there, and you've given me a lot of nuggets. That's for sure. All right, brother. You have a Merry Christmas. Tell Jimmy Merry Christmas.
I can't trust. Yeah. No problem. Yeah, I'll wish him the Merry Christmas, and I'll wish him Happy New Year's and everything that comes along with it. Yeah, and I'll talk to you then, Sean. Right.
All right.
Thanks for having me on. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck. All right. There you go. That was Keith from over in Ireland. So hopefully, if everything goes right, we'll have Keith and his dad Jimmy on next Wednesday night. So there's something to look forward to. Make sure that, oh, wait a minute. We got another caller. Give me just a second. And unscreened caller, you are on the line. What's your name and where you from?
Oh, this is Michael Owens. Hey, Sean. How you doing?
Hey. Merry Christmas, Michael. What's going on?
Merry Christmas back. Oh, well, you were saying something about snakes earlier. And yes, snakes can track you. They can track you by heat or by scent.
All right.
I know this because on the property there in East Texas, I've been dealing with a moccasin my whole life. It's still out there. Yes, it's still out there, and it's as old as I am. So.
Okay. How big is this rascal?
The last time I saw it was over a decade ago, and it was between 10 and 12 feet and 8 inches in diameter. And that was over a decade ago.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
that sounds like a big ass snake to me.
Yeah, it's probably 14, 15 foot now.
I don't want nothing to do with that thing.
And it's a water moccasin, so it's about the most poisonous thing around.
No doubt. I would want to be around it anyway, whether it was poisonous or non-poisonous. I'm not a snake person at all.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's why, I don't seem so scared about Bigfoot or dogman and stuff, because I've got really dangerous stuff on the property, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. But, yeah, that snake there, it would track me by scent. I would have to lose it to get home, because I didn't want it to be right up on the door whenever someone came out. Yep, that snake would track me.
How far would this thing travel to track you?
Over time, 1,000 yards.
Hell, that's a hell of a distance for a snake. But I'm not an expert on snakes, so that just seems like awful long distance.
The only thing is that the snake isn't fast. I mean, even now it's not it's not that fast. You can sit there and go to a light jog and be gone, in 5 seconds, The trick is if you go and do that and then you stand around for a couple minutes looking at stuff, the snake's going to come and sneak up on you.
Well, I'm not a big snake fan, and I'm not a snake expert whatsoever. That doesn't sound like anything I want to mess with. Just like dogman. I don't want to mess with the damn thing.
Well, it's better than the little tiny rattlesnakes that are on the property too. Those things there, man.
Texas has got a ton of rattlesnakes.
Oh yeah, and the smaller, the more deadly they are.
Oh yeah, there was a program when I was a teenager. They released a bunch of timber rattlers up on a ridge pretty close to me. And they said, well, we're trying to replenish the population of them. I was like, oh, okay, why would you want to replenish the population? They're all over anyway. I remember walking up the mountain where I used to live as a early teen, and I saw this big 7-foot long rattler, and I thought it was dead. It was they were doing some construction work. They were doing some construction work.
You never go near a snake without something to pin it down with.
I don't go near a snake. I don't hell with pin it down. You can screw that shit. But I remember we had some bulldozers working above the property where we used to live. And in this track in the dirt, there was a big, long-ass rattlesnake. And I thought it was dead, but I gave it a long, wide berth. It never moved, but I had a place to go up the mountain. I just went around it, and I come back, and that damn thing was gone. I come back. Well, it was just playing possum or just sitting there, sunning itself in the
They'll
sun.
do that.
Yeah.
That moccasin did that a lot whenever I was growing up. It would lay right across a root, a tree root or something, or right across a piece of shadow, and you would not see it. Oh.
Amazing. Well, Michael, I appreciate you calling in, brother. I think I'm about done with the show for tonight.
Oh, I know. Take it easy. Y'all all have a good night.
Merry Christmas, brother.
Oh,
All right, that was Michael Owens. Interesting, to say the least. He's always got something interesting to talk about. But I'm closing down the calls for tonight. And dear folks, I appreciate you popping in. Merry Christmas. Belated Happy Hanukkah to those folks that celebrate that season. Holy cow, what a show. We had 8 callers tonight. 8 of them. And it always amazes me that people call the show and have such fantastic stories. Started out with shadow people stories. Let's see. Huge ass snakes, which I'm not a fan of. I can honestly tell you. I'd rather have an encounter with a shadow person than a big ass snake. I can tell you that. But excuse me, apologize for that. But holy cow. Anyway, as I do for every show, say a prayer. Merry Christmas to everybody. But here it goes. Dear God in heaven, thank you for today. Thank you for the blessings that you have given us all. Please bless those folks that are listening. Help those that are in need of help. Help those that are sad and lonely. Help those that are in need financially, dear God. Protect those from everything that is evil, demonic, extraterrestrial, interdimensional, extra-dimensional, out for the ruin of souls of man. I plead the blood of Jesus Christ on everyone. Dear God, help us all to see your will and help us all to follow it. And dear God, please bless everyone that I have had contact with today and keep them safe and sound. Bless this house and bless this program, and thank you for everyone that has attended or will attend and listen to this program. In Jesus Christ's name, dear God. Amen. All right, folks, I believe I'm done for tonight. And from, I guess, around the world, from down in Australia to Ireland to wherever parts unknown that's listening to me, Merry Christmas. I wish and hope that everyone the best in the world and a happy new year to come. And, wow, this has been a wild ride for this week, or this year, actually, especially for me. But I will see you next week. Probably see you Friday. If nothing changes, I still got to make some plans for Friday. I may be with you Friday night over on the Dark Waters channel doing a live stream celebration with the Lakeia show and the Vata Nightmares. They may be doing, I know they're going to do some fireworks. So, wow. Well, folks, I believe that's about all I got for tonight. Thank you again for joining me this Wednesday night. If you're going to reach out to me, my number, 931-994-6917, is legit. For that one lady that called me, says, is this a legit number? Well, you reached me, so I guess it is, isn't it? And Sean G at imdarkwaters.com. All the links that if you want to donate or tip or whatever, or go over to the Teespring store, if you want to have, wait a minute, I ain't even showed this off. Well, I'll have to pick that up later, as my grandmother would say. Something dropping on the floor. She said, I'll pick that up later. But if you want to have this with this on the back. And many other designs over there. A Teespring store. It's down in the description of this. Gee whiz. Let me just put this daggum thing right here. I'll pick it up later, as my grandmother would say. Good night, y'all. Merry Christmas, and be safe out there. Please, if you would, think of somebody to be a light, shine a light with them through you. Be a light to somebody. Smile at them, say a kind word. You know, open up a door. You never know. It might make their day. You know, something simple. But anyway, thank you, folks, for being a part of the show. And I think 2 hours and 56 minutes is long enough for another show. But God bless y'all, and we'll catch you the next go around. So, here we go.